There was this guy named Jonathan Ross
Oh no,
who
bathtub Ross.
who during a live streamed Google Hangout admitted he was a pedophile. He described himself as an autistic version with rage and bloodlust. Worst of all, he claimed that he worked as a volunteer at an elementary school.
Oh boy, that's quite the opening. Holy shit. All right, here we go.
Then I'm
I
a
need to get help for
pedophilic
pedophilia.
shit.
That's what I need to get help for.
So you are a
I mean, like,
pedophile.
seriously. Like, do you think I was not going to say that, or what?
So then you are a pedophile working at a f***ing elementary school.
All right, well, this is episode 3 of SNEED session, and with me now is our guest here, Arkenas Einbrecht. So, Ein, how are you?
I'm doing pretty damn good. It's cold as shit outside, but welcome to Canada.
Yeah, that's one thing we'll have to mention is you're a Leaf. You're one of the good Leafs, though.
One of the I don't know if there are really any good Leafs, including myself, but it is what it is, man.
I would vouch for your immigration.
I appreciate that.
We'll trade you one of the random weirdos in California. Like we'll give them to Canada. They'll probably be happier there.
Oh, bro. Canada's become such a socialist shithole. Like, and not the. I don't want to say a good kind of socialist, because there really isn't a good kind of socialist, but like the tolerable kind of socialist. Not even the tolerable kind of socialist. It's just Canada's become a let's just encourage people to defraud the government and steal from each other. Oh, it's wild. My country's a shithole.
Yeah, I mean we're going through a bit of that with the Somalian thing.
I've been paying close attention to that. It's been very amusing. I feel bad for Minnesotans, but I'm not surprised to see Somalians do that shit. Like, it's just that's the behavior of Islam. That's what they do.
I've met quite a bit of white Minnesotans, and unfortunately, like they are extraordinarily like liberal in I guess to their credit, like in their like Scandinavian roots, to where they're just like kind of fine and like defending it a lot of the time, which I find to be insane. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
Defending that nonsense is intense. That is an intensely non-hetero thing to do. If you are defending fraud activities, you are and I'm not talking about someone refusing to pay taxes because the government's not representing them properly. I don't believe that's fraud. Fuck you if you think it is. I'm talking about like genuinely defrauding the government. Like, that's gay. Like, you're stealing from the taxpayers, not from some amorphous blob.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, I wanted to let you properly like introduce yourself. So, like who are you, and as far as your internet escapades, like what do you do?
Oh boy. I'm a retard from sort of the early days of the internet. I used to fuck around a lot on and sometimes find out because I frequently got
bag, as we call them.
I found out a few times because what was it? I've only ever been catfished once, but it was a funny story. Like, I'll tell that story.
You mean like
someday.
by a girl, like online?
No, by a dude pretending to be a girl. Only happened to me once.
Oh, that's even worse.
Oh, dude, it was funny as shit, though. Like,
my next guess was going to be like if you were like catfished by like a glowy or something.
No. It was funny as hell. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, it was sort of like the impetus that like pushed me to like mess with people online, because I was like, wait a second, this is a thing I can do. Like, this is proper behavior on it. Oh, hell yes. I never engaged in the catfishing thing myself, though some of my friends did.
So would you classify yourself as like an internet troll, like of sorts, like one of the more original ones?
Until about my late 20s, I was. I did a lot of just messing around online. I couldn't tell you what any of the account names are because I would get banned or muted, and then that's it. Okay, just discard it. Let's move on. I would forget my username inside of a week because it's very rare I had any attachment to a username.
Right.
Because they were just something to throw away once you're bored of it, kind of thing, right? And with each new username, I would choose a different personality and I would behave differently. And people were always surprised with it. Like, how can you like behave like a completely different person? It's just, well, borderline psychopathy. So it's kind of easy for me, actually.
I guess you're playing the long game.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things. Like, I'm kind of a lunatic, and I admit it. I'm quite open about it. So it is what it is.
You're like the people who would like befriend Chris Chan for like 3 years just to get him to shove something up his ass and post it everywhere.
No, I find those antics funny, but no, I wouldn't go that far. I think that's
Well, considering what Chris did to Barb, he kind of had it coming. In hindsight.
yeah, yeah, I don't know, retroactive justification's not really my thing. Chris certainly deserves his current fate, but holy crap. Yeah.
That's a whole rabbit hole, for sure. That I'm sure everyone at this point knows. But so you talk about like some of the things you've done like online. Um, so there's this thing that me and you know about that some others know about, but it's kind of always been obscure, and now it's kind of like further obscure as some of these people have just straight up went mainstream.
Yeah.
So like, what is the sector, and how did you find out about it?
I don't even know, man. Uh, how what is the sector? Like that is, I don't think it's possible. The sector is a meme first and foremost. It comes from Ethan Ralph because it was that old like I'm the top of this sector or whatever
Best
the
of the
fuck the
sector.
quote was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best of the sector. Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. And that's where the meme of the sector comes from, right? Because it was this corner of the internet called Internet Blood Sports, right? And it was a bunch of grown men, sometimes women, but mostly grown men screeching at each other. And it was funny. It was very entertaining. And you had people you would not think paying it would pay attention to it, paying attention to it. Like they would get on the most insane guests, like Jared Taylor, David Duke, Keemstar at some point like turned up and just started like hanging out with the sector crowd. It was
Yep.
wild.
Richard Spencer, Nick
Richard
Fuentes.
Spencer, yeah, like it was wild. Like you would not believe the people that would hang like chum around. Ralph had this habit back in the day of getting guests that were beyond his station, and it was fascinating to see
Oh, the early
because,
days of the kill stream, he was punching above his weight consistently
dude,
for quite a while.
it was amazing. Like, and that's why the show was so much fun to watch. Every week he would have some insane guest on, and it would leave retards like us in chat in awe. Like, how the fuck did you get that guest?
I
What
think for
is
someone
going
who
on
doesn't know
here?
too much about like internet blood sports, I think you could probably say it's kind of like bringing like old school like Modern Warfare 2 game chat to live streaming.
Yeah. Yes, pretty
And
much.
sometimes it would involve like interpersonal drama, sometimes it was politics, but it was always like that, you
It
know,
was always a screaming match.
I hate the word toxic, but it's like this like, toxic like screaming match, of like
Yeah, because
of like
the
classic like
purpose
COD about any particular topic.
if you want to avoid the word toxic, you can just say what it is without the bizarre feminist language. You can just call it browbeating, and that's what it was. It
Yeah.
was the point was to just browbeat your opponent into submission or until like both of you got too tired to continue or like, the chat got bored. Like, yeah, it was it's kind of wild to watch.
It was some really, really crazy shit, and we definitely have some really cool sector stuff to, go over. Like, I would call the sector, I guess, just like this, like, spurgy little corner of the internet
Yeah.
where, I think it probably stemmed mostly from places like 4chan, like Poll and things like that.
I
And,
think it was pretty disparate. Like we were from a lot of
uh-huh,
different places because you knew you always knew people who came from 4chan. You could tell because they knew the lingo. You always knew people who came from like Rotten or something awful because you could sort of
that's true, yeah. This
the
was back in the
cultures
day
were
of, like,
different.
image boards and stuff.
Yes, the cultures were very different on the various boards, right? So you always kind of knew in some capacity who you were dealing with when you were having a serious conversation and not
When you
trolling
met,
each
like, an
other.
A-bombs world person, like, you knew, like, you could bully them immediately.
You know, it is what it is. Oh,
Uh, No, but you're totally right. It does come. It is kind of disparate. There are people from places like something awful. But it was
Yeah.
all like that image, like that internet, like image board culture that
Yeah,
kind of
no,
like came
exactly.
together.
And it was it was very funny too because despite their sometimes retarded behavior, the Encyclopedia Dramatica guys um categorized and cataloged a lot of really funny internet shenanigans.
Oh yeah, no, big
And
time.
a lot of like the terminology is like cemented there because it's like they would write in that like faggy internet speech, and that's why I loved reading the Encyclopedia Dramatica so much because it was just this gay, awful way of writing, right?
Yeah, and I think you could also link the sector pretty closely to Kiwi Farms and that
Yeah,
bunch, which a
yeah,
lot of people
yeah,
know about Kiwi Farms these days.
yeah. Which is shocking.
Yeah.
I've been chumming around with some people in the Warhammer community for several months, and it's very entertaining because there's just it's a mess. It's a mess of a group, but they're pretty wonderful people, and like they're like pretty much most of them are aware of the Kiwi farms. Like they don't have accounts, but they very much read threads, and it's like oh boy, it's pretty wild. Like the
Yeah, Kiwi
farms is
Farms got a
being
lot of it got a lot of attention during like the whole Keffels debacle too.
yes, especially because of Nick Rekieta pushing them and being like, "Hey, Keffels, like, what are you doing? Like, this is kind of stupid. Like, none of what the farm said about you is untrue."
Well, ultimately Keffels failed. I think, thankfully, like that whole thing was
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
Well,
Um
Keffels only got as many successes as he did. Yes, I will
Emphasis on
very
he.
yeah, he did because he had other creatures, male creatures, that pretend to be humans, like Liz Fong Jones. What's the nickname for him? Elliot Dong Long Gone.
I've
Yeah,
heard that. That's funny.
yeah. Elliot Dong Long Gone's my favorite nickname for that one. It's so good.
We do have
You can,
Keffels, I think, to thank for the Troonshine meme though.
yeah. I mean, that sounds like something retarded he would come up with, right?
Yeah, something like brew in like hormones in a bathtub
Yeah.
and give it to minors or some
It's
crazy
it
shit.
just him and what was the guy that messed with him so much on Twitter? Teen Wienerstein or something like that, the Dick Masterson impersonator. It was
Uh,
so good, man.
there are so many characters. Like if you're completely unaware of like this corner of the internet, like there are so many characters and crazy lore. It would take me and Ein maybe in the ballpark of 80 to 90 podcasts to even cover maybe half of it.
It's
It is
insane.
it is such a crazy web.
Dude,
And
especially when you start considering that like we had legitimate like lol cows and like inventors and engineers dipping in and out of the space constantly. It makes it even more wild.
oh man, you just reminded me of another person that I didn't really write a topic for, but maybe I should have, and that's JF Gary Epi, or Gay
Uh
Rapey as most people call him.
yeah, Jean Francois got it. Give me a beat. Yeah, it's
Can you
I
can you tell can you tell people like I want to like get back into all the sector stuff. I have a bunch of stuff lined up, but first and foremost, like this is a gaming channel, so we'll definitely talk about gaming stuff.
yeah.
But I guess really quickly, like I didn't plan on it, but can you tell everyone like who like JF Garepi is and kind of like what
JF
he's like in the middle of right now?
JF is a former professor, if I remember correctly. I don't remember what university it was at, but he is what we refer joking. No, it's not even a joke anymore. He is what we refer used to affectionately refer to as the potato masher or potato smasher, depending on which one you liked more. The reason for that name being he seemed to have a propensity for dating women who were not particularly well intellectually endowed. So he earned the nickname the Potato Masher, or again, Potato Smasher,
He
depending
would,
on
in his
which.
own words, go up and down the coast, in his own words again, chain fucking retards and like
Yeah,
impregnating them.
he's
And he used to work with Andy Worski on his show Worski
Worski
Live, which
Live.
was really big at the time. Um,
That
and
whole thing fell apart though with that infamous quote of "ND, enough of these low IQ interventions."
Yeah, JF is like a very like insufferable like Quebecois guy, as almost all of them are.
You just said the same thing twice. Insufferable
Insufferable
Quebecois.
and Quebecois, yeah.
Like, what are you
A
doing?
big problem is like I like hockey, so like the only sports game that I play are like the EA NHL games, and man,
Oh
I have to
man,
interact with way too many of them. Way too many of them. It is painful. Like,
bro,
when we try to like
they
get a group of guys together to like form a team to play online and stuff, like oftentimes like I'll like bring someone in from like looking for group posts or whatever, and then it's like I hear that they're like a Frenchie, and I'll just like, nah, I'm just gonna kick this guy. Like I'm not dealing with this.
man, yeah, the Quebecois are very, very peculiar. They're difficult, in many cases, difficult to be around. Some of them are super based and highly intelligent, but the city dwellers are largely insufferable pricks. Stay away from them.
So back to JF, like this is a guy who's like some sort of academic. He worked as a professor. What is he, like an evolutionary biologist or something like that? He wrote a book called The Revolutionary Phenotype.
The
Um,
revolutionary phenotype, the idea being, if I remember correctly, that machines will replace us unless we find a way to advance humanity beyond what machines are capable.
have you read the book? Because I don't know anyone who actually has read the book, despite him
No,
like shilling it for the last decade.
I meant to. I purchased a copy, and somewhere in the move from where I was living at the time uh, to when I moved to my current location, I don't know what the hell happened to it. It disappeared. I was like, oh, I kind of don't want to
Divine
give the man.
intervention, probably.
Maybe I kind of don't want to give the man money and buy another one, but like I'm kind of curious. I want to read. I kind of want to read it.
Well, if you do end up reading it, please let me know. I'm kind of interested, but not interested enough to buy it for myself, but
That's fair.
because
Yeah,
someone
no,
else to take on it.
he's an academic, former professor, if I remember correctly. He wrote that book, like you said, The Revolutionary Phenotype, and he's a fairly uh, deranged fellow. He's very entertaining from that perspective. I love to observe other crazy people because technically speaking, they're my people, even though I'm, I guess, more controlled than they are. Um, their JF in particular is notorious presently because his wife Elora disappeared many moons ago, and JF's explanation for why she disappeared was that she was on a 007 adventure in the forests of Nouveau Brunswick. She's a
Yeah.
she is a survivalist. If she does not want to be found, you will never find her.
Yeah,
Which
his
is
story is that like she's like this like secret agent, like autist, basically, who
yeah.
went into the woods to disappear with no gear or anything at all. And he's like, oh, like she's very resourceful. Like I'm not gonna try to do the accent, I can't, but
No,
like
it's okay.
she's very resourceful. Like she could be like in Paris right now, like with no passport. Like who fucking knows.
Yeah. No.
But he's
Tragically,
the prime
though,
suspect in her disappearance.
in her
Um,
disappearance and suspected murder, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we all obviously like we have to say like this is all like alleged. He hasn't been found guilty of any of these things. Um, but yeah, it's very shady. I would think, to say the least. Like in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's very funny and almost karmic. I don't want to use the term. I don't like using the term karmic because it comes from the Vivek kind religion, but it's almost like cosmic consonance, I guess, to call it something. Uh, Continuity, maybe even that Andy Worski is now getting to laugh at JF for basically being like widely suspected, widely, not wildly, well, wildly too, widely and wildly suspected of being the reason his ex-wife is missing and presumed dead.
Yeah, because Andy Worski now hosts Kino Casino
Yep.
along with someone named PPP, otherwise known as Ashton Parks. And it's a pretty successful show. Like they go live on Kick. They have a clip channel on YouTube, and I've watched an obscene amount of the clip channel.
I watch a lot of their clip. Pause ski. I will admit, like Andy sometimes annoys the shit out of me. He talks when he ought not to, but he can be very entertaining. I will certainly give him that.
I can't help but like Andy. I think he's a good showman, and
I think he means well. It's just sometimes it's like, Andy, you didn't need to say that.
well, he's also known as like Tardski or IQ ski or whatever other adjective.
Yeah. My
ski.
my favorite though. Well, my favorite pejorative will always be the retarded phoenix because he always rises from the ashes.
Well, that and he has a weird relationship with fire because he lit his nipples on fire during his Worski live days.
Yes, he
When
did.
he was doing like cocaine and whatever else.
He was hitting the drugs pretty hard, brother. Yeah, he's lighting his nipple. That moment when he lit his nipple hair on fire on stream, I was like, oh, he's doing drugs, isn't he? Like that was because like that's
not really something you do sober.
No, it's not. Like that's drug thinking. As my
that's something that
friend
like a high 15-year-old might do.
Yeah, pretty much.
But for a grown man, like it's gonna take more than weed to make you do that.
You could not convince me to light my nipple hair on fire. Like that would you are going to need to pay me
an extraordinary sum.
Yeah, no, that's a level of self dope. Funny story from my childhood. Well, dark story from my childhood. There was a kid in my neighborhood who liked to threaten people and kick the ever-loving tar out of them. He one time decided I was his target, and he decided to slap me around a bit, hold me down, and get out his lighter and threaten to set me on fire. And it was like, oh boy, here we go. But thankfully, my buddy pushed him off me, and it was like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah, there's it's not normal behavior. It's the behavior of someone who is very impaired.
Yeah, no, I would totally agree. So, this is like a gaming channel ultimately, but I think we should segue into more of the sector stuff first, and we'll get to the gaming stuff later because we're already kind of on this topic. There's so much to say about it that there's no way we'll be able to get everything.
No, it's not possible.
Close, but I did pick some interesting ones though.
The contemporary stuff is interesting enough to talk about, though. Like JF's disappeared wife is wild.
It's absolutely wild, and I couldn't believe that I forgot to include it because that is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
he was even interviewed by people who have really come up and done really well for themselves lately, like Andrew Wilson about this topic.
Yeah. Wilson. Oh, poor Wilson. Poor Andrew. I think he tried to be fair to JF, and that was ultimately a mistake. But yeah,
I think he was trying his best to not make JF rage quit.
Yeah, I think so.
Because if you get too close, he's gonna cope and seethe and leave. So I guess while we're on this topic, Nameless, can you bring up the first clip? We're gonna start pretty strong. We're gonna watch what might be the greatest moment in the history of the sector.
How's it taking so long?
Look at all those tabs!
I have a lot of tabs open, but I have...
Thanks for
Is that
reporting!
That one... But nothing on...
Now, wait a minute!
Oh my fucking god!
Nothing on that. That's just...
What the fuck?
So... I have been in a not the best place mentally. And...
Now, wait a minute, Matt! No! Matt, no!
So yeah, That's
Wait,
it.
no,
That's-
no,
Dude, wait, wait a minute, cut back, no!
He fucking
Okay,
lied
hold
to
on.
us. He
No,
lied to us
dude,
No,
what?
Straight to our face. He lied straight to our fucking face.
for an hour.
He was spitting and deflecting the entire fucking time.
No!
It's about Dane
No, Matt!
Pesos.
Matt!
It's because
Matt! No, Matt!
that's
Matt,
my bad. Look,
Matt,
that's my bad.
Matt,
I admit fault on
Matt,
that one. Like
Matt.
literally, I admit fault on that one.
No,
that's
Matt.
that's me.
No, come on, dude. Just take a hit.
That's-
I'm sorry, but look, dude, at the history of
What
the
the
screenshot,
fuck?
right? The history of the screenshot, what we saw anybody making a video talking shit about
Woo!
Matt Mundane getting flagged by Matt Mundane or whatever
There
the
you
fuck
go.
your name
Yep.
is.
But-
That's what we
Absolutely.
saw.
But if you saw,
Don't
all
butt
the
me,
videos
motherfucker.
are-
Done. Guilty. Case
That-
closed.
That is on me. I have made
Case
a few
closed. If
mistakes,
somebody cries about Matt Mundane or whatever the fuck your name is, you flag them. Case closed.
So we mentioned him earlier. You know, this was on Ethan Ralph's kill stream. Now this one is particularly relevant because when I spoke to Brian from Honey Badger Brigade about Gamergate in the first episode of this series, inevitably Matt Jarbo, at the time known as Mundane Matt, was false DMCA'd by Zoe Quinn, you know, which spurred Mr. Mediker, then known as Internet Aristocrat, to make his Quinspiracy video, which is when Gamergate really exploded. Can you explain to the audience like what happened here in this video?
This was the product of Mr. Mediker and others streaming, and just happened to be talking about Mundane Matt, and their streams got taken down.
Now, can you tell them exactly what they were talking about? Because I definitely remember.
That I don't remember. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Well, this is beautiful. I would love to get the opportunity to explain this. They were talking about a video that Matt had made years prior called Polly the Polar Bear,
Polly the polar bear, right?
which was like a polar bear puppet or whatever. This is a video from like 2012, and it was like him doing like a silly voice. And it was like, "I'm Polly the polar bear, the word of the day," and obviously, Namish will have to censor this so the audience can kind of use their imagination or just look up on Kiwi Farms. It's like, "I'm Polly the polar bear, and the word of the day is nigger," you know. It's so they were
The
making
hard
fun of
R
him.
even.
Yeah, and they were making fun of him because he's like kind of like this lefty, like Bernie bro wannabe, like mainstream kind of guy. And I'm just being descriptive. Like I'm not actually like shitting on him. But that's just kind of like the obvious truth. So it was very funny to them, like that he would make a video like that. And so like they were talking about that and their stream went down. And yeah, I guess take it from there, Ryan.
Yeah, their streams got taken down, and immediately they started accusing Mundane Matt of being the culprit. Mundane Matt produced dozens of excuses for why he couldn't be him. He was out gathering boulders with his daughter. He was busy all day doing other things.
Which, by the way, is why, you know, he got called Boulder Boy after this. This is known as Boulder Stream or Boulder Gate. Because his claim was I was out there picking up rocks and boulders from, you know, a different like some other different town, you know, so I couldn't have been around. It couldn't have been me.
But failing to understand the concept of wireless internet, which we know his phone has access to. What a goofy thing to lie about, right? But we also learned during that stream that Mundane Matt had Google alerts set up for his name and things surrounding him, so that he would be notified when people were talking about him. And it became just an absolute shit show because they actually bullied him into getting on stream and defending himself. And over the course of what was it, an hour and a half?
No, I think it's longer than that.
I think you might be right. I think it might have been
It was, I think,
an
an hour and a half was the like kind of like the timestamp that I gave Nameless, because that's like when he eventually brought up the screen share, and everyone's like, "Oh, you lied to us for an hour and a half," you know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he, over the course of like an hour, hour and a half while he's on with them, he just like lies to them outright.
Yeah, and he was saying things like, "Oh, I don't know who Dame Pesos is," and like in that screen share, there's like several like takedowns he issued for Dame Pesos videos talking about him and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And you know, he took so long to bring up this screen share, and he was making excuses. He was obviously like panicking behind the scenes because he was probably retracting as many reports as possible. Um, so who knows like how many other ones were flagged, but they bring up like anytime someone is like talking about him negatively, like their videos would come down.
Yes,
And at
exactly.
the time, like he had like a fairly like large channel. And obviously
Yep.
after that, like it tanked like hard. And
Well,
he's
it was,
never really recovered from that.
thank fuck for that too. He's an irrelevant spurg.
I actually wanted to get him on a video with me and Brian because I know Brian knows him. I think they've actually met each other in person at like a con or something. Um, but I wanted to get them together on a video about the new like Superman movie. I thought it might be interesting to kind of have like their different perspectives, and I was gonna like I wanted to give Matt like a real like good faith like chance. Like I wasn't gonna like bring him on like to shit on him. Like maybe like we'll disagree on like our takes, but it'll be like about the movie. Like it wouldn't be about like politics or things he's done in the past or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I thought it could be interesting, and well, he ended up not coming, which is fine. But I would still have him on if he decided he wanted to.
It could be a fun show.
Yeah, like this was obviously a horrible mistake that he made, and clearly like extraordinarily like hypocritical considering like he blew up because he was false DMCA'd by Zoe Quinn. So
Yeah,
for
he's
him to
being
false
flagged.
flag everybody else is pretty fucking egregious. You know, I think, and I mentioned
The,
this,
the justification to this day still sticks in my craw. It makes me laugh. Just I was in a bad headspace, or what the hell it was he said.
right.
In my defense, I was in a bad headspace. It's like, you fucking.
It's a pretty Reddit tier excuse, I would say. But like I talked about this on my episode that I did before this one with Andy Pants, because he had like the debate with Ackman that didn't go well, and in there I was saying like I think people really deserve like second chances.
Hey, you call him
Uh,
by his true and honest username, Act Ma'am.
Act Ma'am, I apologize. I apologize, Act Ma'am. I will not dead name you any further. But
Or Act Ma'am, if you prefer.
yeah, I like that one more. But I was saying like when I had first seen that because I found Andy before that and like I loved what he did and I was so like disappointed like by that performance that like there was a time where I kind of like wrote him off a little bit. But
He got stomped because he didn't prepare, ultimately.
he did not prepare, absolutely. And we talked about it last night, and he was saying like he had just like blown up like couple I think he said he blew up in July and that debate happened in September. So he didn't really have a handle on like how to really deal with his like new popularity. So he kind of like went into it blind and unprepared. And so,
Yeah,
like I
it's like it.
recognize that like that's just it's a mistake, and I'm glad that we started talking. I actually like love Andy. He's actually a super super cool and awesome guy. So who knows like
I mean, if
I
you
think
if you vouch for him, he must be at least an all right guy.
oh, Andy's fucking great, dude. I love that guy. I think we've like I'm not really like a type of guy to like make friends like on the internet, but I would consider Andy probably like the person I've become like the fastest friends with of anyone I've ever met online. I think which is saying something.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's one of those things, right? Like sometimes you just find people you really click with. Like with me, it was well, it's the guys I hang out with regularly. It was them, it was you and Avon and a few others that I've met online. Just kind of really cool people.
yeah, Avon and his wife are awesome. I
Dude,
really like both of them.
Avon and Wendy are phenomenal human beings. I understand. That's a no opinion to like former sectorites and like some other people, and it's just that's fine. You don't have to like them. You don't have to like that I like them. We are not required to like the same people. That's a-okay.
Right. I do think like sometimes like we should be a little more, I wouldn't have said this like back in the day because I was like this like um apathetic like libertarian like retard. But nowadays I would say like maybe we should just be a little bit more human, a little bit more like gracious
Yeah.
and forgiving. So
No,
like who
that's
knows?
exactly it.
Maybe like I could talk to like I don't like his politics. I think they're awful. But maybe I could talk to Mundane Matt about like games and movies, and maybe I'd even like him from that perspective. I don't know,
Maybe.
but I think we should be open to things like that.
I think necessarily, yes. People with more patience than I should absolutely do those things. But assholes like me don't belong in like the debate sphere. We just mock people because that's what's fun to psychopaths. Like it is what it is. Like
I think
what am I
it's a fair role to play.
yeah, like what am I supposed to do? Lie about it? Nah, fuck off. I'm not gonna do that. I'm quite
Like,
honest about.
I'll still like talk shit on like COD game chat or something, but I don't go as far as I used to. I don't like tell people to kill themselves or anything anymore, which I certainly did before when I was like an agnostic who like didn't care about anything.
Yeah, you know what?
Nowadays I wouldn't do that. I'll still call you like a fat retard, but like I'm not
Oh,
gonna
dude,
tell you to kill
I
yourself.
I can't, dude. No, actually, funny enough, I'm way more vicious with my friends than I am with total strangers. Like when my friends really fuck up, I will slap them upside their head, literally
Well,
slap them.
those are the best friends that you can have. Like, are the ones that'll like tell you that like you're really fucking up.
Yeah, no, and it's just friends. Proper friends are honest with you and firm with you. They will discipline you when you fuck
You
up.
don't want to surround yourself with yes men. That is an absolute path to your own destruction. Don't ever
Yes,
do that.
beyond a measure, perfect. Like my grandfather told me that when I was a child, and I did not listen to him. To my discredit, like around 24, 25, 26, I started like taking in all of the things all of the lessons my grandfather tried to teach me, and God bless that man. He was a godsend, and I wish I had appreciated him more before his passing.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely. There's so many things. Like I wish my grandparents were still around. There's so many things like as an adult I wish I could have asked them about that I didn't have the opportunity to. If you have, if you're ever listening to this and like, your grandparents are still around and, you're in your 20s or older or whatever, like you should really try to get their perspective on things. It might be very interesting.
Yeah, it may help you come to some of your own conclusions, or it may simply reinforce the positions you already hold. But regardless, it'll still be helpful to you.
Yeah, I
Unless
completely agree.
unless they're like too far gone and they can't have an actual conversation, then just spend time with them, love them, and that's all you can do at that point.
I was trying to like express that too to Andy on the last episode. I was like, I'm not bringing up like the ACMAM stuff to like shit on you like in any way, like I'm just trying to like, be like a good like honorable, friend, you know. And I don't think he's really talked about, the aftermath of that publicly, I guess until then. Um but everything he said about how like, he just blew up, like he didn't know how to handle it, like it was just kind of fucking crazy. Like that makes total sense. And if I were to put myself into his position, like who's to say like I wouldn't act the same? I have no idea if I'll ever build like a real audience. I may not. But if I do and I make mistakes, I think we should be gracious to others and hopefully like they'll also like return the favor when I inevitably make a mistake.
Yes, certainly, graciousness is a worthy a worthy cause. It's its own end, sort of thing. It's meant to, I guess, soften people's hearts. It's a valid tactic.
I think it's a very Christian principle to hold.
It is. It certainly is. Kind of wish I was better at it.
Nobody's perfect, man. I fuck up all the time.
I
It is
know,
what
I
it is.
know, I know. I just, I ought to be more gracious with people I dislike. Is all.
Yeah, it's like you have to like really separate like the hatred of like what this person is doing like compared to like them directly. Even when it comes to like the libs, like I don't hate them, but I think the positions they hold are terrible, stupid, and all types of other things. And I hate leftism. I really honestly I hate libertarianism too. Um, but I don't hate these people at all. Like I think you know there's a chance that they can be like their minds can be changed, they could be redeemed. Like so I don't like to just like write people off like entirely because when you do like there is no path to redemption. You're really just gonna like solidify them towards like the thing that you hate.
Yes and no. You do, and Christ was clear about this. You do have to know when you're casting pearls before swine. You do have to be discerning. You do need to
That's
learn
true.
to identify when there is someone you cannot help, someone you cannot convince.
That is true. I think that's more of an argument of like who to spend your time on and who not to.
Yes. Well,
But
it's because the thing to remember about the not casting pearls before swine, it's not exclusively about knowledge. It's also about like understanding who will appreciate graciousness, effort, things like that.
right. Yep. Obviously, a lot of truth to that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's one of those topics that I'm trying to take my faith seriously.
yeah, for sure. You know, and I await your conversion to orthodoxy. It's coming. I know it's coming.
Uh,
It's
that's
coming.
that's a distinct possibility. I'll leave it at that.
I'll keep pushing. So I wanted to get into this next thing. Nameless, if you could pull up the next clip. Now this was an entertaining beef. We've already mentioned Andy Worski, who's still around and hosts the illustrious Kino Casino. And this involves Tonka Saw, who I know you remember, who's
Oh,
been banished to a trailer park somewhere or something. They got themselves into a
one of
fight being IRL situation.
one of my favorite moments in the Tonka Saw arc was Southern Poverty Call Center
Oh yeah.
calling his
Oh yeah.
mom. I still to this day will go back and watch it every couple
I
of
was the
months.
guy. I was the guy with the van, like with for the wheelchair.
Nice.
Yeah,
Like
that shit was fucking hilarious.
just it's a howler, man. It's so good. It's just him. Yeah, it's just the. It's funny too because I really this is an aside. I really miss SPCC because it just that man is what happens when someone with a 160 or higher IQ decides, fuck it, I chose chaos today.
There's something somewhat admirable about that, I guess,
Yes.
from an entertainment perspective. So let's mute and Nameless. If you want to play this clip, it's from 7:50 to 8:45.
No,
no,
Are you saying that's not the case? Are you saying that's not the case? I have it, you fucking moron. You put it out.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
so fucking proud of stealing. You fucking publicize.
If I could talk, that'd be great. But
I don't give a fuck if you talk. I want to
because you're lying,
ass.
and no one likes you. Everyone hates you. Donga,
Andy, I'm not you. I
Get
don't give a
Viagra.
fuck
Get
if people
Viagra
like me.
so you can fuck vamp
I'm gonna
properly.
beat your
but you-
fucking ass.
No, you're
Why
not
don't
because
you get some
you
fucking
can't even
Viagra
fuck
so
that-
your girl don't leave so
you
much.
can't even.
You
fuck
lost your
Vampa.
girlfriend three
No.
times in a month. You
Sinead,
lost your
she's in
girlfriend
the other
3
room.
times in a month.
Oh, what? What?
Are you pretending that didn't happen then?
Are you pretending you can't fuck vamp because your dick won't work? You fucking retard. Go.
You
go
wish
the other
my
way.
dick didn't work. You want to pretend that
Vamp
you got
told
something
everybody.
over me.
Vamp told Cog, your
Prove
dick
it.
is broken.
Prove it.
it. Okay, I'm gonna message. I'll message him right now that your dick's
ahead.
not working.
Donga.
So-
What was the nickname he had for the longest time? Chief Donga of the Little Wheel Tribe or something like that.
There's Dead Air Donga was a good one.
Dead Air Donga.
So can you explain like how this thing between them started and also how it ended?
Oh my god. I'm embarrassed to say this, but I don't remember how it started. I do remember how it concluded though.
So I think if I remember correctly, and maybe I over relied on you for this particular one. If I remember correctly, I think they kind of had like beef because I think Andy was co-hosting the Kumite Tonka show for a while, right?
Technically, Failure was his
Well, Failure
co-host,
was there too.
and
Yeah,
Andy was a regular guest.
I know they had some sort of collaboration. I think Tonka also like convinced Andy to fire JF, if I remember right.
Oh, I think a lot of people had a part in that one, though.
It was for the best. Maybe. I don't know.
Yes,
Andy went off the rails for a little bit, but he came back.
he always comes back. The retarded Phoenix is just the only thing that will
Eternal.
stop him is death.
Not even aim could stop him.
Bro, it just wild. Aim was great. We'll talk about that later.
Well, I probably won't go into it too like in depth. So I guess we'll just say like Aim was Andy Worski, Tonka's co-host Failure, and this other guy named Alex. I don't really know where he was from. But they were like on the streets of like Miami doing IRL streaming, and they had like a loudspeaker or whatever that like super chats would come through, so people would like type slurs and all types of shit in there, and like it would get them like attacked by people,
Yeah.
and like they were out in the Miami
Two
streets like
guys in
3 in the
particular
morning.
decided to follow them around.
Yeah, and Andy, he told Alex, who was concealed carrying a pistol, he told him to pull his handgun out and aim, like at them. So,
The
they got
panic
into some
sound
trouble
of
there.
his voice when he said it, he's the aim. It's like, oh, Andy, no.
Stay back. Yeah, like
Stay
with the
back. It's
voice
like,
cracking.
oh, Andy.
Oh,
Oh, Andy, what are
his
you doing?
adrenaline was flying, dude.
Yeah, man,
Uh,
adrenaline does wild shit to the human mind.
oh, for sure. But yeah, that was he really crumbled after that one, and then he was on what was it called? Something Mind with that Kyler guy on like Rumble or Odyssey or whatever for a
Yeah, and
while.
then he didn't he do the show with Geek Thulu as well?
I don't know, did he? I'm not even
And
aware
then
of
he
that.
did, and then he tried to do one with Miles Chong, Ian Miles Chong.
Oh fuck. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, that Ian Miles Chong guy.
Oh yeah, that's
With
some
the
wild
dog
shit.
and the flashbangs and all this kind of shit.
Well, I mean,
But
the dog thing was a LARP, but he did like it was a bit they were doing for the kill stream, but he did actually try to kill Andy Worski by sticking the RCMP on him.
yeah, it really annoys me how often I see Elon like retweet this guy.
Yeah. Elon is a proper retard. It is what it is, man.
Yep, he has no idea.
No, he
But
knows. He'll let anyone cozy up to him that's willing to lick his asshole out.
could be true. Uh, so yeah, like they Worski and Tonka got into this like crazy beef or whatever. Tonka was like a big like shit talker. Like he pretended to be some kind of crazy like famous like pro wrestler that somehow no one had ever heard of.
Yeah,
Um,
the bit was. I always thought it was a bit. It wasn't a bit for the record. Like he was like half
he was LARPing.
serious. He was doing what's referred to as like half serious LARPing, whereas like it's a character, but like he fell into the trap of believing the character.
He also he was also LARPing as like a Native American for a long time too.
Oh yeah, that's right. As it turns out, wasn't he just like
He,
he was a
he
random
was just
Southern boy?
some regular Southerner.
Which is very. He probably does have some ancestry because let's be clear, the Anglos interbred with the Feather Indians pretty commonly.
You know, I hate to say it, but like, he also got like completely destroyed by Destiny of all people when he tried to lie about like the cars he has. And like he
Oh
thought like
yeah,
the
yeah,
model of Mercedes that he like pretended to own was a
yeah,
Benz,
yeah,
like, not
and
realizing the name of
Destiny.
the brand is Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, Destiny. Not that it was a difficult thing to prove. You could literally just look it up on a website. But Destiny proved that he was lying by showing out. No, that's what are you doing, you idiot?
So Tonka like was a big shit talker. He hosted a show called the Kumite for Internet Blood Sports. He challenged people to fights all the time, and it was really cringe. And he never thought anyone would call him on it.
And
Uh,
then Andy
and
did.
eventually Andy was like, "Yeah, you know what? Fuck it, I'll fight you." And he was like, "Oh shit!" And then he pretended to be this like tough guy wrestler or whatever. And there was a girl fighter that was on his show. I'm trying to remember what her name was. Failing to, but she was like, "Oh yeah, like I know like promoters and organizers. Yeah, I could set that up." And then he was fucked after that.
I
Um,
know the woman you were talking about. I can't remember her name either, but she was an
Tara
actual.
Tara La Rosa, maybe.
I think it might have been La Rosa, but I'm not totally sure.
So yeah, they try to like set the fight up, and he lied on his like paperwork, changed his name, blood work didn't match, all this kind of like weird crazy shit. and so like the fight never happened, even though the event itself did happen. So like Andy just like showed up with like a American Indian like feather hat thing and like a wheelchair just to like do like a victory lap like in the ring, and
It
his
also
career was
spawned.
destroyed after that.
Yes, it also spawned the hilarious and very spurgy event that was Bastard Beast running around in like a strip mall parking lot, like swinging fucking Japanese swords around, screaming, "Fight me, Tonkasa, you bastard!" Or was it?
We
No,
also
it was
had
you coward.
I think was that the event where well Ethan Ralph was he showed up like next to Andy. He was wearing like a Roman like toga or whatever the fuck because he has like this obsession with like Julius Caesar. He like
Oh,
all his accounts names are like J Caesar or whatever, which is how we found
yeah,
his Pornhub account of like
yeah,
BBC and like cucking and all this kind of shit.
dude, finding out that he was into like interracial cucking was it didn't surprise me, but it did disgust me.
How embarrassing. Uh, yeah, so Andy collected a massive W, and Tonka was basically bullied off the internet at that point. And I don't think he's come back, as far as I know.
I heard he was around again, but I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, I guess I couldn't verify that. I'm not really sure.
Well,
But
I could if they would allow me to have a fucking Twitter account, but I'm not allowed to have a Twitter account.
so we'll notice, like during that clip that we had played, the host of that was somebody named Nick Rekieta. Do you want to dive into the Rekieta lore, like who he was in the past, like how he blew up, and where he's at now?
Rekieta got super popular very early on because he covered the Maddox lawsuit against.
Because he's a law tuber.
Yes, well, he was pretty much the first law tuber, if I remember.
Yeah, and he blew up with like the Rittenhouse case and the Johnny Depp case.
Well, even he covered a bunch of that stuff. Yeah, the Chandler Halder case. Yeah, dude, he was fun to watch. And then he would occasionally have his friend Drexel on for like weird sort of like mocking simps and open marriages and stuff like that. And wow, that turned out to be
How ironic that turned out to be.
yeah.
So where is this guy now? Like, how did he get there? How did he fall from grace? And why is he now known as the Baldo Pope?
Ah, the Baldo Pope. Yeah, well, he got there through just, it seemed at the time, like just poor preparation, but entertaining. He did entertaining work. He entertained people on stream and seemed to have a decent grasp of the law. And then he would have people far beyond his station and intelligence on as well. He would have on guys like Andrew Branca, who is fantastic, by the way. And they would like just have these giant like law panels, and they would talk about these cases, and they would actually sometimes get get into heated arguments with each other, but they would seemingly remain friends off stream, except for one case, that Legal Bites creature. But that's neither here nor there. Rekieta at some point made some very foolish choices that led him to leak information, and people began suspecting that it wasn't in fact his wife. Lady Rackets wasn't in fact his wife, but was in fact a communal project, let's call it. The town bicycle, I believe, is the euphemism of choice.
And who was the other content creator who famously rode this town bicycle, as you call?
Oh boy. That's the thing, though. There wasn't just one, allegedly. Like, apparently a bunch of people were sleeping with Lady Rackets. Up to and allegedly including Drexel as well. Like, it was alleged that Drexel slept with Lady Rekieta. It was alleged that, well, we know, it's no longer alleged, but we know that Aaron Imholt slept with Lady Rackets.
That's the one. Aaron Imholt, the host of
Steel Tone
Morning Show. Yeah. And him and his wife, like they were all like they were swinging like together. They were doing an insane amount of drugs.
Yeah.
They had like a very dirty home where their kids went like unfed, unbathed, unclothed.
Yeah, like one of the kids one day indicated that they were hungry, and I guess the others were busy doing drugs or some nonsense. And Aaron, the consummate retard and cuckold, decided, fuck it, I'll make some SpaghettiOs for this little munchkin. Nobody in that situation is a champion, by the way. I don't like any of these people at this
No,
point.
they're all losers.
They're all disgusting, degenerate freaks.
And he I guess like the kids, like they went to like their school or whatever. I think it was like some sort of like Christian school, and I guess their pastor or whatever like noticed that they were like unfed and smelled bad and their clothes were dirty or whatever. I think there was like a CPS call or something like that, and
They're mandatory reporters or something like that. I can't remember the term.
cops showed up, and we never ultimately got the body cam footage. Him and his family, I suppose, like pulled some strings and made it very difficult, to I guess impossible to get that body cam footage out.
My hope is the footage will one day come out, because I'm curious. If they don't want it getting out, that tells me it's it's worse than we could possibly imagined.
It could be, and
Uh,
yeah, he's been fighting that, and he's been what is he on, like some sort of like probation or house arrest or something now?
I think it's what, like 3 to 5 year probation. He can't have any alcohol or hard drugs, and can't own guns, I believe, for the duration of probation or some nonsense.
And because he has like these restrictions, it's suspected that that he's been using like whippets or galaxy gas or whatever since then, because you can see some like pictures. His like fingertips are like turning blue.
Blue because of hypoxia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's we noticed my friend and I, Prime, noticed it immediately. We were watching that particular stream because people were talking about Ricada being live, and this was after a hiatus in a chat, and we went, okay, let's go check this out. And we saw the blue fingers and went, no. So we started watching very intently, and he would like come back, and his voice would be altered, and both of
Oh
us
yeah,
picked
that
up
was
on
the
it.
biggest one. His voice was so different.
Both of us picked up on it immediately. We knew exactly what was going on, because when someone is doing whippets or galaxy gas, because it alters your voice for an amount of time afterwards. And we just knew immediately, because like we're observers. Like when people do things like that, like we tend to notice changes in behavior and stuff like that, because it's just when you're a people watcher, it's just what you do, right?
Of course. Yeah, I mean it was very noticeable to anyone who was familiar with him like at all. Like I noticed it immediately.
Ricada's sort of fall from grace really bummed me out, though, because he turned out to not only did he not, it wasn't that he fell from grace, it was that he had been lying about who he was all along. He was doing all of the things that he cautioned against, and it was like,
Including him and Steel Toe sucking each other's dicks and eating each other's cum and all types of fucking crazy gay shit.
Yeah, that's yep.
So I guess like the last part of like Ricada, who I checked earlier by the way out of curiosity, he's only getting like a couple thousand views a video now on like his big fucking channel. He used to get like millions or
Millions.
hundreds of thousands or 50,000 or more like
Dude, he
regularly,
would
and
make
now it's gone.
he was routinely #1 on like super chats on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember like during and after like his Rittenhouse coverage, like he was fucking everywhere. Like I'd
Yeah.
obviously known of him before that, but he was everywhere. And now he's like a washed up bum. Um and I guess like the last part about Ricada is, why is he called the Baldo Pope?
He is called the Baldo Pope because for two reasons. They're not technically unrelated stories, but they are. The Pope thing comes from his time doing the LawTube streams, where people began calling him the Law Pope as a joke. And then eventually, along the same timeline, I can't remember if it was before, around the same time, or after, he was also involved with something called the Baldo, which is apparently a strap-on for guys. You attach it to your testicles, and you can use it to drill whichever hole you'd like. And it just happens to look like a dog penis, so it's super weird. It's obviously probably made by a furry. I'm just saying.
I think it's like this weird like dildo thing like you strap to your nuts, and then you can.
Yeah, it looks like a dog penis. It literally looks like what fur fags refer to as the knot, and it's like, oh boy,
oh dude,
and it's
don't
just
even
like,
get me started on the furries, dude.
oh, fur fags are so gross, man.
Yeah, they are. They're a bunch of freaks for sure.
Like, I used to say "yiff in hell" as a kid, as a teenager, as like a joke. It's not so much a joke these days.
No, not at all. Oh man, that's stuff I'm not even gonna get into, like Hero the Wolf and all that kind of shit. Maybe on another one we'll talk about that. That is for another day.
That is some vile shit, but not sector related. So let's move on.
Well, it
that
became a little sector related. Like we had sector people get involved in it.
That's true. You're not wrong. Yeah, dude, it's wild how much all of these things intersected at some point.
I know, like that's why this sector is such a complicated web. And I know that maybe to some people like out of the loop, like this whole thing is gonna come across as like inside baseball. But I promise you, like I'm trying my best for it not to be like that. But like it is so hard to really convey how much of a web this thing really is.
Yeah.
And really like what it ends up turning into. But I guess like with that,
yeah, the main reason the word Baldo got associated with him, however, was his involvement with the Baldo review. He used the sex toy on his wife and then reviewed it. So he became the Baldo Pope.
Which is something kind of like, lighting your nipples on fire. It's something you would only do if you were on hard drugs.
Yes.
Never in my life would I own like some like supposedly like trad right wing like law tube channel, and then I'm gonna review the Baldo that I used to DP my wife. Like that's wild.
Like I'm gonna be a little foul for a second. I'm gonna be a guy. Permit me this one moment. But if for some mystical fucking reason, like fatigue or whatever, my dick isn't working that night, I have fingers and a mouth. She's still getting off. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
right.
not using a fucking toy. Like, it's not necessary.
Even if you had like the worst case of like whiskey dick on earth, never would I have been like, you know what, let me bust out the Baldo. It wouldn't have even occurred to me.
That's not, bro, improvise. Like, you have other appendages, you goofy bastard.
What a sick fuck, man. So we mentioned like Ethan Ralph. So I wanted to name this, if you can pull up this next clip. Here's a clip from Ethan Ralph and Mr. Medicare.
Who are you trying to fool? Do you think
Didn't
I'm going to
give you a lot of pills from the beatdown in Portugal?
I'm going to back down from you? Do you think I'm going to back down from you? I'll take your old fucking greasy slut and take her around back too, you fucking motherfucker. Do you think I give a fuck?
You seem so
I'm
mad.
not like Gator. I'm not like Flamenco. I'm not going to bow down.
I know, you're about 3 times their size.
Yeah, I'm not going to bow down
to get one of you.
Oh, you're going to wheel yourself down the block? You're talking about people's sizes? You can't even walk outside your fucking house, motherfucker. You fucking pitiful.
And you can't walk down the streets of Portugal.
Okay, well, when I show up to your hometown and I'm a block away from your house, why don't you come down the block then, bitch?
You'll just hear pig noises.
Oh, because you can't fucking move.
You'll hear Sui across the sky.
The fucking block of bullshit with COVID.
Yeah,
Why don't you answer about what you did?
Where's my rage,
Why don't you answer about what you did with COVID? What? Oh, you don't want to say shit about it, huh? You want to make fun
of me? I'll listen. Say what? Go ahead, ask again.
Some fucker will sneeze on you and you'll fucking die, you fucking coward.
No, you got to back it up. Say what again? Go ahead. I'll let you speak and answer. What won't I answer for?
Yeah, COVID.
Put the liquor down, fat ass.
Yeah, fuck you, bitch.
Did you see the liquor leap out of the glass trying to get away from your gullet?
I didn't run, bitch. I'm right here. Do you think I'm?
I know you can't run. That's why you got beat down by 4 Portuguese men.
Anonymous, fake, faggot Jim Augustine who changed his name to get away.
It's Augustine. God, how drunk and dumb are you? Say it with me.
Nobody is scared.
Say it with me, Ralph.
And they won't ever be scared. Fuck you, bitch.
Augustine. Ralph, come on. You fake being religious. You should be able to say this particular name.
Nobody gives a fuck. You want to talk over me? We can do it all day. Like I said.
Are we gonna holla? Are you fixing to holla? not, Ralph?
What? You won't let me talk, so why won't I?
Come on, holler for me.
Why won't
Holler
I,
for me,
bitch?
Ralph.
Why won't I,
For
bitch?
me.
Like, you're
Holler
so
for me,
fucking
Ralph.
silly. Like, you're so fucking silly. and
Ralph,
stupid.
please, holler for me. Give me this southern holler.
Holler for me. Holler for me. A cancer patient who can't even leave his fucking house.
Every time I listen to that, I just howl like an idiot again because it's such a ridiculous encounter, right?
Of course. I mean, that was like damn near internet breaking, I guess, like in our circles, like when that came out.
Dude, it's so funny too because a friend of mine who I won't say his name or his username or anything nonsense like that. He's a real life friend who he's only peripherally aware of the sector because I sometimes talk about it with him, and he's like, "Oh my god, why are you familiar with these retards?" It's like, yeah, well, you know, they weren't always like this. They weren't always like this. They were very entertaining and amusing back in the day. They're still entertaining, but for very different reasons. Now it's less they're entertaining for entertainment's sake, and now they're entertaining because they're just, it's like someone flew a plane loaded with nuclear bombs into
it's a train wreck that you can't look away from.
Yeah, into a train that was full of school kids, right? Like, it's just the most wild shit.
So, I mean, let's tackle Ethan Ralph first. We talked about him a little bit, like the Monday Matt clips were on his show.
Don't touch him, that's how you get AIDS. Do you want to get AIDS?
Who is Ethan Ralph? And there is so much lore on this guy, but like
it's impossible to encapsulate Ralph.
Sum up some of the big ones.
Yeah, okay. Ralph's early days involved him being sort of like a self-styled blogger / journalist. He covered the Gamergate stuff very heavily, and then he decided it was a good idea to get drunk in a hotel lobby and assault. I can't remember if it was a police officer or a security guard.
Female police officer.
Yeah, and then get sent to county jail for 9 months, wasn't it?
I think so. Where he sobered up and got in better shape.
And then immediately reversed all of his progress by eating like a starving hog when he got out of jail. But yeah, no, he's from there, he started hosting I can't remember if it was called the Kill Stream originally.
The Kill Stream is his first show that I'm aware of. So otherwise, like, I'm not sure. I knew he used to, write blogs and work with like Milo Yiannopoulos, I think.
Yeah. And then he eventually became involved with Nicolas J. Fuentes and America First.
I think that was, yeah. And then also, later, like when he was banned from everything, which we'll probably get into, like he had to stream on Nick Fuentes' streaming site, Cozy.
Yeah, Cozy.gov.
.gov.
Come on, man. It's a long-standing joke. It's not going away.
No, and we'll certainly get to Fuentes later. But, this is a guy, Ethan Ralph, aka, the Rage Pig. He has done so much crazy shit that I actually don't know where to begin. Maybe let's start at where he is now and maybe work our way backwards.
Okay,
so, where is he living right now?
He is currently living in Mexico, if I remember correctly.
In essentially like a shack, more or less, from what I understand.
Some like apartment in the middle of nowhere was my understanding. Merida, I think he said.
Yeah, some like really, they call it a shack, I think, just because it's tiny. I think he's like living in some like tiny little shithole.
Yeah, it's it looks like it's a studio apartment essentially. If you need to call it something that people would be more familiar with.
Right.
Very small. It's a studio apartment functionally.
And why is he living in Mexico now?
Because he decided to flee his obligations to his 2 children and the potential of being, I guess, sued into oblivion by what does he call himself? Vicious Vickers, Matthew Vickers.
Yeah, Mr. Vickers, who should not have really stepped into this ring. He should have just,
should have stayed out of it. Shouldn't have. Yeah.
It never ends well.
Nope.
So yeah, he's known for that. He's known for revenge pornography. Sticking his thumb in a girl's ass and like eating the poop off of it.
Snorted it was a snort. It was like he was sniffing the thumb after he popped that thumb out of her booty hole.
And then he,
it eventually became like the A-log started saying he was sucking the shit off the thumb because, like, you know, it is what it is, man. Like, it's the internet. People are going to exaggerate it to piss him off more over time.
Of course, that's how it goes. You know,
Yeah.
he also like is known famously for his gunt, which is like this his like giant gut that's like really like
Yeah.
saggy and like hangs like below his shirt and stuff.
Is his stomach bifurcates toward the bottom because he has lost and gained weight rapidly on more than one occasion, and
Mhm.
as a direct result, like there's this weird like meaty flap on either like it's fascinating. And then there's the quad tits, so there's that too.
So like why is this guy Ethan Ralph like he went from having a pretty popular show um what has led for him to be hated, his co-hosts to have like all left him to where now he uses like female grok as his like co-host like
Uh,
how did that happen?
he had a consistent habit of abusing drugs and alcohol, creating pointless drama with people who were ostensibly on his side. Sometimes it was ostensibly, sometimes it was people who were actually on his side. Like people who were provably on his side, and he would take minor criticisms sometimes as like personal, like major mortal offenses, like someone had tried to like slaughter him in the womb, kind of thing, like things he wouldn't forgive, and he would like dox them over it, and this cycle would continue, and he would constantly whittle down his audience until eventually he started chasing away his own pay pigs, like his most loyal followers, who were referred to as his gunt guards.
Indeed, and there were not that many of them towards the end. I'm not sure who even still watches him genuinely. I'm sure there's a couple,
I think most
but like
people watch
literally
him
a couple.
ironically at this point.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure there's like, and I mean literally, like a handful of people who watch him unironically at this point. But you
I
know,
do.
he used to be big. He used to be really popular.
This is not something I should probably admit out loud, but I guess it shows a bit of humility and humanity on my part. Ralph is one of the few people that I kind of feel a little bad for. Not because I believe he's like a good person or anything deep down, just because I see someone who was caught in like a really nasty loop, a really awful feedback loop, and that's got to be tough to deal with.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of that stems from addiction and like poor impulse control.
Yes. Well, he didn't have a good start to life, right? Like, allegedly, both his parents abused him in some capacity. So,
hmm Which is
like,
awful. Obviously, I'd have a lot of sympathy for that.
yeah, dude. Like, I can't hate him. It's just not. I've hated one person in my lifetime, and I just don't hate most people. It's just not what I'm wired for, I guess, despite being a bit of a psycho.
It's crazy though, but like I know we're really underselling it here, but there is so much fucking lore to this guy that like if we
Yo,
don't go
dude,
over it super briefly, this will be the next 10 hours.
it would be longer than that. Ralph has many arcs. Like, we would have to get into explaining like Zidane and Gator and all of the lore
Flamenco.
and flamenco and the associations with what is his name?
You have to go into things like the baked Alaska stuff. To talk
Yes,
about
thank you. I was
Zoom,
trying. I wanted to call him
Black Alaska,
Black Alaska. I couldn't remember his actual.
baked
That's-
Alaska. I mean, not to get too into him. He was. I would guess I would just call him kind of like a Fuentes orbiter, more or less.
He was It's funny too because he was a Medicare orbiter for the longest time, and then Jim criticized him for behaving like a shitbag, and suddenly he wasn't
Oh, well,
normally
Jim like
Jim
went
anymore.
on his stream and fucking shit on him
Oh
in
yeah,
front of
dude.
everybody.
He torched a lot of those people just because no, you're behaving like the idiots you were complaining about. Like, what are you doing?
I'm glad that you mentioned Jim here. Mr. Medicare, widely known simply as Jim, to me seems to be at the center of so much sector lore. Like he is the oldest of old fags in this community for sure.
He is like he's even like a I'm like a little baby like summer fag compared to Jim.
Jim
Like,
is he's known as Daddy Jim. Like he's
yeah.
been around for the longest time.
Well, it's exactly it, right? Like he's been around and he's way more in tune with everything than I could ever hope to be. Like it's
And
just one of those things.
he's been like sick with like serious illnesses for a while, and it's really like torn him down, and like that sucks. And I hope there's a path to recovery there. But
It seems like
he
there
was
may be
always
because
like,
he was
go ahead.
talking recently about the doctors knowing what was wrong with him now, so it's a matter of finding treatment.
Oh, really? Oh, that's great. I didn't hear that. That's good for him.
Yeah,
I
so
know he finally found, after being known as the apatheist, like he finally like found God after like the Charlie Kirk thing.
well, I think people don't want to hear it, and I don't care. A martyr, like a genuine martyr, will always bring people to God.
Absolutely, 100%. And also like being feeling like you're close to death does that too.
Yes. Wait, Jim explained it himself too, though, right? Like he said, like even being on death's door didn't do it for him, but seeing someone who was essentially just like a limp-wristed dispensationalist Christian who's just like who tries to be authoritative in the way he speaks. Uh, he is essentially like the reasonable person who wanted to talk to the left, being murdered by the left. Jim seeing that happen was like, holy crap! I think that was his moment, his come to God moment.
I'm just happy he got there.
So am I. I've prayed probably 4 or 5 times for him to that he at the very least finds Christ before the end, and I'm glad he did.
Yeah, man, me too. It's really, really good to see. And I still, regardless, I still hope that, he recovers. But, Jim was always known for being, he was always fair, which is probably why most people couldn't hate him unless they were just like butthurt because they got like the brunt of, whatever he dished out. But fair, but like very intelligent and just ruthless, like brutally cutting. Like
Oh yeah.
he really excelled at blood sports. Like he was able to
Oh
just kind
dude,
of dance circles around pretty much anybody.
he one of my favorite encounters was him and Destiny.
They've had a few. Are you talking about like the debate that they did?
The the one where the infamous quote where Destiny is just like, "Oh yeah, you're just so aloof and above it all" comes from.
I know he had a thing with Fuentes, and Fuentes said that too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the event where the Nicky the Knife nickname came from.
Yeah. Yeah, so he seems to be the center of so much because he's been around forever.
Well,
Um,
Jim was sort of the linchpin in a lot of this stuff. Jim
yeah,
was the rallying cry in Gamergate. Jim was why people started. People will talk about like Sargon and Mundane Fat and all these other
but
weirdos.
it's really that conspiracy theory video that really, really kicked
Yes,
it off.
correct. Like I didn't really give a shit about the Gamergate shit. I was still kind of like, I don't care. But Jim's conspiracy video was very entertaining and made a lot of valid points. And I went, oh, okay, all right, I see his argument. All right, I'm on board.
Yeah, I think Jim really excels in, seeing all these events, like organizing them in a timeline and then just kind of using logic to, maybe discuss like motives and, what could happen next, things like that. And, he's got a good manner of speaking, which resonates with a lot of people.
Yes. Well,
Uh,
he's charismatic, right? And at the end of the day, that's what you want
yeah.
from a potential leader.
I mean, Jim could have been pretty much anything he wanted to be. Like, the guy was extraordinarily charismatic and intelligent. People really like this guy. Um, but he had no interest in that. He's like, yeah, the internet's basically just like my playground. Like I just whatever.
Yeah.
And like that's fair. Like to each their own. If that's what he all he wanted, then who am I to say that that's wrong?
See, that's the thing though. Like I didn't have a problem with Jim stepping back. I I actually really agreed with him stepping back because he saw the same things that I saw, but he vocalized it. He said it out loud in a way that other people would listen to. Well, I guess not enough people listened to it because obviously Goober Gobber kept on going full steam ahead with all the grifters around, despite his warnings. But yeah, I like even at the time, like I agreed with him, and it was just like, no, that's fair that he wants to step back because there's all these fucking retards that are swarming, and that's yeah.
This was also at a time where basically monetizing stuff on the internet was kind of seen as gay to like the people who've been around for longer.
Well,
where now it's just totally commonplace.
That's the fascinating thing too, though. Like, if I remember correctly, Jim didn't have a problem with monetization. Jim had a problem with these creatures that wanted people like funding their habits and their hobbies.
I suppose there's some truth to that for sure. But I mean, it's back in those days, like from those kinds of people, like it was always kind of controversial. Like, oh, you're doing this and you're making money, like you're a sellout or whatever.
Yeah, well, you got to remember
but now
though,
everybody
like,
takes super chats, everyone enables ads.
yeah, like you gotta. That's just one of those things. I think you can't avoid. The human animal is. Sorry. Excuse me. The human animal is something that will consistently choose the path of least resistance to success.
I suppose that's probably true. Probably why you see so many OnlyFans girls. I probably figure, oh, all I have to do is take mirror selfies of my titties and I can be a millionaire.
Yeah. No, that's generally the thought process is from what I've seen. And then the reality sinks in that they're not as hot as they think they are, and they don't even make it to like the top, whatever it is, percent who actually make that kind of money.
Well, I wanted to use this opportunity while we're talking about Jim. Let's introduce another character. And this guy is still around, although it seems like he's kind of, dwindling a bit. So, Nameless, will you pull up this next clip? This is Jim versus the Quartering, also known as the Quarter Pounder.
How you doing there? How you doing there, Soulboy? How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing great. How come we're not on your channel?
Oh, because you're the one that invited me over here, remember? I've got a screen cap. I've got a clip up on my Twitter timeline where he said, if Jim wants to come on, he's invited to come on. So here I am.
Oh, yeah, but why aren't we on your channel, Jim?
You can go to my Twitter timeline right now, retard, and you can see the invite that you openly said at the start of your stream.
Yeah, but why aren't we on your stream?
Uncle Jim can come on my stream. Well, here I am.
Okay, well, you snuck in. I appreciate you. I appreciate Keem sharing the
Well,
link
I guess
with you.
I had to sneak in because, that's the only way to get in. You like to say public things, but then, privately, you're too much of a pussy to do what you say you're going to do.
Oh, well, that's not true at all, Keem.
Jim is welcome on my stream, but you never sent the invite, did you? You never sent it because you're a pussy.
I've been waiting for hours for you to fire up a stream on your channel, Jim.
You are a giant vagina. You are a giant
Jimmy. Jim, I'm sure I know you want a lot of friends, but I mean, I'm telling you, I just wanted to come on your channel for once, one of the big successful YouTube channels.
Did you? Did you want to come on my channel? Were you want some attention?
Yeah, I definitely did. I wanted all the attention that your channel brings. So why you? Is it Monday, Matt? It's Monday.
I'm coming here for the big show, Quartering. All 2,700. Ooh, it's a big fucking number. You're a big boy.
Yeah,
we're on a big stream with Jeremy right now.
Is Monday Matt streaming right now, or are you getting DDoS? Are you not getting DDoS right now?
Oh, God, you are handicapped, aren't you? You understand that I was DDoSed well before the fucking Monday Matt thing, and I streamed afterwards, you stupid retard.
Oh, well, okay. Well, how about now? How about we pop on over to your channel?
Are you dumb, Jeremy? Are you dumb, Jeremy? Do you not understand chronology? You can't put a timeline together?
No, let's pop over to your channel right now, Jim. Fire up a stream. Let's go.
I've got a stream that's going to be happening this Sunday. You can watch from the audience.
I can't wait.
Much bigger than 2,700 people. Much bigger than 2,700 people.
It definitely will be much larger than 2,700 people. That's a fact.
Not as large as your girth. I mean, it'll get up there, but not as big as your waistline, huh?
Oh, well, calling fat a guy who hides his face on the internet is not really a great insult, Jim.
Maybe you should have hid your face, fatty. Maybe that would have been a better idea.
Oh, that's such a high IQ burn, dude. Oh,
don't need high IQ burns to burn a fatty.
That encounter was absolutely just pure stupidity. Like, Quartering did the same thing he has this habit of doing. He gets drunk, he shit talks the wrong person, he causes a huge kerfuffle, and then he cowers in the fucking corner when he starts sobering up. But this time, Jim, unlike a lot of the people that would just let it go, Jim wanted to bully this fat fuck. So Jim was like, no, somebody get me that link. And Jim got the link.
He got it from Keemstar, because Keemstar was on there talking to him.
And he went in there and just started bullying this fat, retarded piece of shit, this fat fucking griftoid. And
of all the people we talked about, I feel like you like Quarter Pounder the least.
Oh, dude, there's nothing redeemable about him. He's just a grifting piece of shit. He's just dishonest. He's He's the right's mundane Matt.
I hate to say it, but that's probably very true. I think,
It's,
you know,
there's
worse than
no
anything, I just think Quarter
meaningful
Pounder is
difference
boring.
between those two fat pieces of shit.
All right, man, go off.
But like it just, and it was wild too, because I remembered watching this nonsense and the whole thing. The reason he wanted to go on Jim's channel is because he and Sargon's other fuckboys wanted to flag Jim's channel by getting on alts and doing like really like, because what you could do back in the day is you could get in people's chat and you could just get their channel flagged into oblivion by spawning by mass posting things like 1488 and all these other no terms on YouTube. And that's what they intended to do to Medicare. And that's why he's ass mad and being passive aggressive about not being on Medicare's channel in that clip.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly right. And you know, that whole thing is why like I can't like stomach Sargon like to this day because all
Oh,
that
I
like
don't like Sargon.
doxing and flagging shit that he used to do.
Him and Trout and all these other fucking fits who whine about the Kiwi farms being like untoward and all this nonsense are hypocritical fucking cunts.
Yeah, Kraut that's a whole nother can of worms too. But Kraut and Tea was yeah, that was an arc.
Don't don't forget his real name, Trouton T, because that shit was funny as fuck. And not unrelated to who we were talking about earlier, because the one who humiliated Crouton T on his whole trout thing was none other than Jean-Francois Gadipi.
It's literally everyone in this corner was just connected through some way or another.
Yep. People have no idea how interconnected all of this was for the longest time. And
The longest time.
it's very funny to me that Sargon is now coming around to the arguments people like you and I were making in 2016, 2017 nowadays, and he's starting to realize that civic nationalism doesn't work, and it can't work because these people don't assimilate. They don't become like us.
I mean, he like I think at the time like set the record for what like most views on a live stream or whatever. But the Warski live, it was Sargon and Richard Spencer, and I think
Oh.
Sticks X and Hammer too, and which that's also another fucking rabbit hole. But Richard Spencer blew him the fuck out. It broke Sargon.
It broke Sargon for
the single quote of like Sargon, you're not as
You're not as smart as you think
and
you
that's
are.
a tough place to be. Killed him. It killed him
Oh.
inside. I know it.
Dude, for years, and he just floundered. It was wild. Like Spencer, one sentence broke that man for 2 years. It seemed like.
And he had other blunders. I mean, like everyone called him Sargon of Applebee's for a long time because of his like suit that didn't fit well. He looked like a waiter.
And don't forget Don Sargoon.
Don Sargoon. And then he also had the whole like you guys are acting like a bunch of white niggers thing that he said.
Yeah, dude. No, but he said something like super base there, and it's just like it wasn't an invalid point. Like, but
he's trying to get in with like an actual like I don't know if UKIP is even around, the UK Independence Party. I'm not sure if they're even still around, but you know, he tried to get into like actual like British parliamentary politics, and you can't say shit like that and do that in this current climate. Or then,
and then he fucked it up even harder by making that joke about Jess Phillips. I wouldn't even rip you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That was wild. Like you can't say
Sargon
shit like
is
that.
absolutely a lol cow in his own right.
He tried so hard to be Trump, and like, bro, you're a fucking Anglo. No one takes that shit seriously.
Yeah, the whole Jim versus Sargon stuff was like really crazy, and you know, like we just saw in this clip, like you know, it also interconnected people like the Quartering, you know, who took his side and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, like if that shit had come out of the mouth of someone like Conor McGregor who could back it up with like a fisticuffs if it came to it, like they'd absolutely take it seriously. But it's like Don Sargoon of Applebee's, like no one took that shit seriously.
Like the campaign that he ran to try to get like people like Jim deplatformed, you know, I'm still like a big believer in second chances and whatever, but that shit was so egregious that it is really hard, and maybe that's my own personal flaw, but it's really hard for me to move past that.
I don't blame you. I think it's all gay and stupid, and I don't think people should necessarily. I think they should forgive but not forget.
Yeah, and
because
I also I'm a big believer in forgiveness, but there also has to be some like repentance too.
repentance, yes. Well, repentance must necessarily precede forgiveness, because if
Yeah,
there
I
is no
agree.
repentance, they're just going to do it to you again
Yeah,
or someone else.
because then they're probably not actually sorry. They're more just sorry that they got caught.
Correct, and that falls again under the category of do not cast pearls before swine.
Yeah, I should have brought that quote up again when we were talking about Ethan Ralph. I think it would have been pretty fitting.
I try not to use biblical passages as like a gotcha when it comes to like or joke, not a gotcha, but joke, because this is my own dysfunction. I don't care if other people do it, but like it's my own personal boundary. I don't like to do it. I don't like to use biblical passages as
The
a
only
joke.
reason that I would be that it would be true, like in that sense, to apply it, but also that Ethan Ralph is known as a pig.
Wait, the nickname is the Bog Hog, right? And the Rage Pig?
Of course.
Both assigned to him, by the way, by Jim in the exact same stream.
Well, they they definitely stuck.
They did. Well,
And
third or fourth year running, and those nicknames are still used.
About quartering, like I don't think he's doing very well. I think his viewership is way down. I always thought his content was very like low tier, like slop. And I'm
He's
not like
Schro-
shitting on him personally. It's just not for me. And then he's
he's
trying to like gain
Schrodinger's
an
poor.
audience.
He's Schrodinger's poor. Is he poor? Is he not poor? No one knows. Like,
Well, he owns like a private jet, I think, right?
no, he's not poor. But the joke is like, I left a comment on a YouTube channel somewhere. I think it was like a week ago or something, and I said, because you remember Ben Shapiro's stupid "Good Trump, Bad Trump" song.
No,
I did
that does sound pretty cringe.
It's super cringe, but I did a slight parody of it, and it was what was it? Rich was it rich grifter, poor grifter? Which one will he be today? It's just like it's a very fitting like parody of the gay little "Good Trump, Bad Trump" song.
He's like trying to like regain viewership from like simps. Like he's hired like Melanie Mack and like Hannah Claire Brimlow, which by the way, like I'm not really talking shit about either of those two women. Actually back when I used to watch Timcast, and thank God I don't anymore. But I actually
Melanie's a dispy, so mock her all you like. I don't know anything about Hannah.
She is a dispensationalist, yeah. Hannah Claire, when I used to watch Timcast, I don't know if this speaks to like how smart she is or just how like retarded a lot of the people on Timcast are, but she was usually the smartest person in the room. I have nothing bad to say about her really. And sometimes I wonder if Tim fired her for egotistical reasons.
Tim is I don't like Tim.
Tim seems kind of unstable.
I mock Tim a lot because I'm an asshole. Like he simped hard for Eliza Blue when it was found out that she was falsely accusing people of sex trafficking her. When I found out she lied about being like molested and stuff, sorry, I have an unfortunate childhood. I'll leave it at that. But when I found out she was lying about that shit, I got really angry. And Prime and I went to work and started like mocking her everywhere and started like sending super chats to people just like absolutely shitting on Eliza Blue. We even made a bunch of memes about Eliza Blue like pegging Tim and shit like that because we're assholes. It's what we do. No, dude, like if you ever see the memes in the wild of Tim getting pegged by Cassandra Fairbanks or Eliza Blue, yeah, hey, my friend and I made those.
Like I'm glad that I don't watch it anymore because like he's like a disaffected liberal or some vaguely libertarian leaning, whatever the fuck.
He will never be on the right. It's just
No.
It's another one of those things. There's a female reporter who I shockingly have a fair amount of respect for, Marissa Hanson. She's also a disaffected liberal, but she's very forward and she's very earnest and honest. And I have a lot of respect for her as a result. Like it's unlike Tim, who is a very wormy, just gross creature.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, there's some people on there that I know that, like, if I had hung out with them, like, in person, like, I would like. Nameless, you've watched a lot more Timcast than me. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. The guy, the lead singer from All That Remains, Phil, right? Phil Labonte.
Phil.
I feel like I would like if I were to like go to a barbecue or like the range, like the gun range, like with Phil Labonte, I'd probably really like him. had like some very short interactions with Ian Crossland. He reminds me of like a good like long-term friend of mine. I cannot bring myself to not like him.
Ian
It
is
what it
not a
is.
bad person. I just find his retarded points just infuriating. He's not a
I
bad
feel like
person.
he has like a ratio, right? Like where if you take 10 things that he says, like one of them is like, okay, that's kind of interesting. I never thought about it in that way before. But the other 9, it's like, Ian, what the fuck are you talking about?
Ian, why did you just say that? Did you just like do ayahuasca? What are you talking about?
The meme is that he's like a D20 and he has nothing but 1s or 20s on it. Like he either has really good points that are like, wow, never really thought of that. And then everything else is just
perfect.
ones.
That's an absolute fucking perfect way to describe that man. Thank you, Nameless.
That is absolutely true.
That is beautiful. Thank you for that metaphor. Like, just wonderful.
But I do find him like to be a likable guy, you know, in the small
No, he
interactions I had.
is. Like, he genuinely is. He's the kind of person I would
He
get
seems like a
along with.
good-natured kind of guy.
Yes, that's exactly it. Like, and I will say this now: I will take a good-natured, friendly human being who's a bit of an idiot over a malicious genius 10 times out of 10. Because
it's basically like, would you take Ian Crossland or JF Garippy? I would take Ian, and it wouldn't even be close.
Ian. No, it's not even. It's not a contest. Like, it's
Not even
a.
fucking close.
Yeah, like it's just one of those things. Like I genuinely like Ian. I just find him irritating. That's all. Like that's my thing. That's my personal hangout. Phil Labonte, Lulbert. So
yeah,
I don't dislike him either. But again, he seems like someone I'd get along with. I just don't want to hear his political opinions at all. He's a Lulbert.
And I like some of his music too.
I'm not familiar. I actually don't know All That Remains at all.
I could send you some after this if you're interested. There's if I don't know if you're into like metal or whatever, like whatever vague subgenre of metal, but
yes, I am. I listened to. I'll give you a decent idea. I listened to stuff from between D'Artagnan and Cannibal Corpse, so it should tell you how far I run the gambit in metal.
I gotcha. I was actually first introduced to his band from Guitar Hero 2. They had a song in there.
Oh yeah,
so all the way back
fair
in
enough.
2005. Yeah.
No, that's totally fair. Yeah, no, he's.
So they're legit.
I famously remember the quote that got Avon blocked by him.
Why am I not surprised that Avon was blocked?
It is so funny too. Avon gets blocked by everybody. It's just he's good at that. He's just a great chirper. He said something along the lines of why are we hearing your political opinions? Just put the music in the bag, retard. Something. It was much more funny than that, but it was such a perfect chirp at Phil, and Phil blocked him over it.
So Avon, for who doesn't know, is a guy who goes by Avon Chartsdale. And I think he's still on Twitter, but he's had to change his account name a million times, like to not Avon Chartsdale and like all types of other shit, whatever. But
he keeps getting banned because people don't like him because he's good at getting under your skin. He's a really fantastic chirper. And that's something I've noticed about a lot of these fucking people that he messes with. They're giant babies. They always report him.
He used to run a show with a black guy named Bibble. Who I've talked to Bibble for a few hours. Bibble was pretty cool. We were talking about like games and stuff. Like we were talking about like zombie games, which was cool. And they had like a show on I think like Rumble or whatever, like Saturday mornings, I believe. And it was actually pretty good. But Bibble seemed to have completely disappeared last I knew.
I don't know that much about Bibble. I just remember Bibble having an issue with Medicare.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was about. But yeah, I do remember there's some kind of beef there.
Yeah, I don't. The meme is that it had to do with Medicare refusing to do a D&D session with them, but I doubt that was actually the genesis of the beef.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. No, Bibble, I won't play D&D with you. Sorry. Yeah, I remember that. That was funny.
Yeah, that's the meme, but I don't know the genesis of the actual beef, or the actual genesis of the beef. I mean,
right. So we're talking about Jim again. So this is the last segment I have that involves him. So you'll definitely know this one. There was this guy named Jonathan Ross.
Oh, no, Bathtub Ross.
Who, during a live streamed Google Hangout, admitted he was a pedophile. He described himself as an autistic virgin with rage and bloodlust. Worst of all, he claimed that he worked as a volunteer at an elementary school. Nameless, let's roll the clip.
Oh boy, that's quite the opening. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, dude, your bathtub Ross is. Oh boy.
All right, here we go.
Ross, are you? How insane are you?
I'm not fucking insane.
You are fucking
I can
crazy
clearly...
as chicken shit, man. What do you mean? I was
Wow,
secretly
guys,
watching
this
you for
guy's
years.
insane, dude. Holy shit.
Holy shit,
Like,
Ross!
really?
When you say that you have schizophrenia and that it's a real thing, that you suffer from it, and lie that it's only every 9 months, yeah, you are fucking crazy. Yeah, Ross, you said that, not me, motherfucker. Don't sing this song about how you're a poor abused victim, you sick fuck. Somebody should line you up against the wall. You shouldn't be near fucking children. Oh, it's all just a prank, bro. It's just a prank. I need to get help, though. But I'm not going to say what I need to get help from, because then I'd have to admit that I'm a
I need to get help for
pedophilic
pedophilia.
shit.
That's what I need to get help for.
So you are a pedophile.
I mean, like, seriously. Like, do you think I was not going to say that, or what?
So then you are a pedophile working at a fucking elementary school.
Yeah, so you remember this one, like, what are your thoughts on this, and whatever happened to Jonathan Ross?
I don't know what happened to him. I hope someone found a very remote location to introduce him to Hemp Chan, his future wife. But as for Ross, I didn't even know about him prior to Jim. Like, I had never heard of this creature before.
I don't think most people had. I think, from Jim's perspective, he said that he just like was browsing random live streams on YouTube and just kind of came across it like randomly.
I was the funny part about it for me too is I wasn't even I was perusing some thread. I don't even fucking remember where I was. I apologize. And people were talking about the fact that Jim was live. And I was like, Jim's live? What do you mean? Jim's live on someone else's channel, if I remember correctly, was the specific quote. And I was like, okay, let's go check this out. I pop in there. I see Jim's arguing with this retard. I'm like, what? Related, because it happened in that stream. Jim telling that one broad to calling her a hole and telling her to shut her mouth.
Ruby the hole, yeah.
Bro, that was brutal. Somebody tell this hole to shut her mouth. It's like, holy fuck. Just the way he talked about her like she wasn't even there is just vicious. Perfect.
Yeah, if I remember right, like she tried to she cried like fake tears and had like a
dude,
fake
she did the
suicide
crocodile
attempt for sympathy.
Yeah, she did the crocodile tears thing live on stream, and these
The
fucking
thing with
women.
this, like how this came about, like Jim found this randomly, according to him, and because he claims to be like autistic or whatever, we had another guy who works with Sargon. See how these are all interconnected in this fucking web? Named Dr. Randomer Cam.
Randomer Cam made excuses for Bathtub Ross, if I remember correctly.
Yes, he did. And Jim, he challenged him to, face him and talk to him on the Kumite, and he wouldn't do it.
No, because he's a pussy. Because he's a fucking faggot.
And then I didn't bring this up in my episode with Brian because I kind of forgot, because we've talked about this in private. I've asked him about it, so it's it's out there. I'm not saying anything that hasn't been said. I simply just forgot to bring it up, and plus we barely finished that show. He had a very hard out. But the Honey Badger Brigade, which he works for, they were involved in that, and it was really bad look. Allison came in, and she seemed to she was defending Randomer Cam, but seemed to not really even know the situation, and it just kind of shilled their stuff.
Yeah,
and
shilled their stuff.
It was a really bad look.
It was just pure cringe, and it created this this sort of rift between people who were sort of fans of the Honey Badgers up until that point, like myself, and I was like, oh, they seem like all right people, and then when they started defending this self-confessed pedophile, I went, oh, yeah, nope, and I immediately ceased.
They were friends with Randomer Cam, so they were just trying to defend him without really knowing what was actually happening there, and it was a big tactical error, I would say. And Brian wasn't involved in any of that, so you can't blame him for that stuff.
No. I don't. I don't believe people who are on the periphery for the actions of the people who are involved. That I think that's a gay I
he
don't
he wouldn't
like.
condone that. Like Brian is a super nice guy, super nice,
No, no.
super smart. He would never actually like cape for a pedophile. Like he would never do that.
Exactly. Well, again, like he's one of these people that you've vouched for, so I'm inclined to trust your judgment because you seem to be you seem to have a decent feel for sort of like when people are decent.
Well, I'm still a retard at the end of the day, but I appreciate I'll take
Well,
the compliment.
Again, remember the rule. If you are on the internet, you are gay, retarded, or both.
Well, I learned last night. Andy Pants told me that I was gay for enjoying the Switch. So clearly, I am gay
Both.
and retarded. Badly. I
Yeah.
found out that I thought I was just retarded, but apparently I'm gay too. It's been
That's
tragic.
tough, man.
I'm trying my best to cope.
Yeah, just
It is
make
what it
sure you
is.
don't suck. Just make sure you never suck another dick, and you won't relapse. You'll be fine.
Okay, I'll make sure to break that habit. But yeah, like it was a really bad look. And as far as I know, Jonathan Ross did in fact get away with it, likely because he
Yeah.
lived in California. And
He didn't get into any serious trouble. I remember people tried to get him reported and get him fired because, again, self-admitted pedophile allegedly working around kids.
who also said he has fantasies about like shooting up the school and like hurting little girls and shit.
Dude, mutilating kids even, I believe he said at one point. So, deranged. Properly deranged.
Yeah, a total sick fuck, you know. And like this isn't his first time, Jim, like his first time outing a pedophile and shitting on them. The other one he did, who actually did get arrested, was, if you remember, Nick Bate.
Oh, pedo poop, Nick Bate?
Yeah, yeah, that guy.
Uh,
Nick Bate was, if I remember, it's been a long time. If I remember correctly, Nick Bate was a guy who I think he would like molest his like little sister or his
yes.
stepsister, one of the two.
No,
And he was
I can't remember if they were actually related, but yes, he was eventually convicted of it.
he would also like masturbate with his own shit. He was like a
Yeah.
corpophiliac or whatever.
I think it's coprophiliac, but yes.
Coprophiliac, thank you.
Is it corpophiliac or oh, it's been a while. I
I
apologize.
try not to get too involved in the poop stuff, so I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah. Well, it's not the poop stuff. It's a psychological term, which I used to have a handle on because I went to school for it. But over time, when you don't use knowledge, it slowly bleeds out of your brain.
Oh, absolutely. Like I took multiple years of like traditional Mandarin, like in high school. I don't remember almost any of it, like at all,
Dude,
because I didn't use it after that.
I was part of French immersion for 7-8 years, and after eventually not using French for like 15 years, I can't speak it to save my life.
Well, good on you for being a leaf and rejecting the French language. That is the true test of your character, I would say.
Dude, I just don't like it. I'm sorry. It's not a bad language. It's just it's not my thing.
I don't know, bro. It's kind of an ugly language, I think. Like I feel like it's irritable just to listen to.
I'm much more apt to learn Gaelic or German because yeah.
Oh, Gaelic? Why? Because you're gay? Are you gay and retarded too? Both of us are.
I hang out with primes. There's got to be a little gay there, right?
Maybe we'll have to have Prime on at some point. Prime's a cool guy. Yeah, it seems like Ross got away with it, which is a real shame. But he admitted to everything, and it's really bad. It's
the biggest problem. Like, one of the issues that I have with authorities is they will not take. Oftentimes, they will not take self-admissions of pedophiles as like cause for worry. It's intensely frustrating. If someone is a self-admitted pedophile, they should be immediately on a list, and they should be denied access to children across the board.
Well, we also have to reopen asylums, which is where you should keep those people.
Yes. Well, there's a better use for them that would not cost the taxpayers money, but I can't say that without getting you into trouble. So,
I mean, should we? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the debate. It's like, do you do that like if they're self-admitted, like before they actually commit anything, or like?
There's no such thing as a non-offending pedophile. I will say this now. There's no such thing. If you're a pedophile,
which is super funny. Like Ross referred to himself in that stream as a quote virtuous pedophile, which is like I don't even have to explain how on its face like retarded that is.
Another callback to the sector. What's his name also called himself a non-offending / virtuous pedophile. Vito. Guisaldi.
Oh, dude. Yeah, Vito. I don't think he's with him anymore, but he was like a co-host with Dick Masterson. Yeah, that was wild.
I don't know. I generally avoid those guys because after the mint salad stuff went down, I disappeared from the Dick Masterson audience entirely because at first I thought it was just some repressed adult who was living with her parents and like they were trying to like get her out of like what was essentially a repressive sort of abusive household. And I was like, okay, maybe this isn't so bad. And then after the fact, I found out that she's a minor, and I went, oh, she's autistic. She's a minor. They're luring someone who is of poor mental capacity. Nope, I'm out.
Yeah, definitely some weird goings on over there for sure. I've never been a Dick Masterson viewer, and I guess thankfully.
It's one of the few audiences I regret being part of. Actually,
can't say that I blame you. So, for the last sector-related topic, I wanted to get into Nick Fuentes. So for you, like, how would you classify yourself politically, and what do you think about Fuentes and his mainstream popularity as of late? And then after that, like, we'll get into some of the lore on this guy.
Yeah, I am a far-right Christian nationalist. It's the best way to describe me.
And so, that being said, like, what do you think about Fuentes now, like, kind of breaking through into the mainstream?
It's weird. It's very timely and convenient.
This is a guy that me and you have both known pretty much since he began.
Yeah. It's very timely and convenient. His career always magically revitalizes itself when it's time for him to manipulate a new crowd of young men. It's very, very odd.
So, like, who would you say he is, like, from your perspective? Like, where did he come from, like, originally? Like, what are some of the things a lot of people probably wouldn't know about him that we might know about him?
Well, I know him most infamously as like a former sort of what would you even call them? Because he wasn't really a white nationalist. He was just I would call it a white identitarian.
Yeah, which I think is kind of like what Richard Spencer would have claimed to be at that time.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, Nick wasn't anti-black. He was just anti-hard R's, if I remember the position correctly. Back in the day, even. Like, he didn't dislike non-whites. He just disliked the dregs of the other races, essentially.
Well, I don't think anybody really likes dregs, like people who bring the society down, like, as a whole. Like, no matter where they come from, really.
That's exactly it. Like, it's again why I'm more Christian nationalist than I am like white identitarian. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I want my people to have our own places. I'm not going to back down from that point. That's why I'm like I unabashedly support that what was his name, Arvold or something, Return to the Land. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The guy who's like building like that like white only community in like Alabama, I think.
Yes. Like I believe that he should be allowed to do that. Plain and simple. I think my people should be allowed to have their own places.
Well, I think freedom of association, like, you should be able to, associate with whoever you want.
Well, that's the thing, though. We don't technically have freedom of association.
No, we don't. We used to.
It needs to be restored, though. People need to have the right to refuse. I'm sorry, but I shouldn't be forced to be in the same community as a career criminal. There are a lot of people I want to be free to discriminate against. Career criminals, pedophiles, known perverts. Like, I don't want them around. They shouldn't be around children. Like, freedom of association has to be restored. Like, I know I'm not an American, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to back down from that point.
No, I totally agree. I think it's a pretty basic, thing that was stripped away, and you can obviously apply association in any way that you want to. Like, that's kind of inherent to it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't even, like you mentioned, like pedophiles, career criminals, like shit like that. Like it can be on whatever lines you choose because you're free to associate with whoever you want.
Correct.
And not to.
And as it stands, I can't discriminate against those people, and I'm not okay with that. I don't want to be around them, and I shouldn't be forced to.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. So, like, as far as, like, Fuentes goes, like, who is this guy exactly? Like, what are some of the things that the people who are newly introduced to him wouldn't know?
Well, he's a former university. If you want a really good, I am gonna plug someone's channel right now, and I apologize for that. But if you want a really
No,
good
don't apologize. Go
breakdown,
ahead.
if you want a really good breakdown on Nicholas J. Fuentes, you want to check out a guy called Mikey No More. He did a approximately 3-hour documentary on Fuentes, and he covers most of the important lore, pretty much all of the really important stuff. And he's done documentaries on several other people as well. He recently did one on quartering, which was very entertaining.
That that sounds like fun.
Dude, he's great. Like he's very fantastic. And if it's your kind of thing, he's a brother. He's black. He's sharp. I like him.
One of the cherished based black dudes.
Yes, in my opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean he is based, but he's sharp. He mocks the weird Afrocentrism community for being like retarded grifters too. So it's very amusing.
So, like I don't want to feel like I'm having like to pull it out of you, but I know that you know more lore about it than you're letting on.
I know I know a lot more. But like Fuentes, it's so hard to explain him in like a quick blurb though.
You can take your time if you need to.
Yeah, but then we just waste time. Fuentes is just sort of he came up because he started speaking out in favor of my people, essentially, which I'm kind of grateful for. Not a lot of people advocate for whites, so I never really gave a shit that he's of Mexican descent. That doesn't bother me. But his involvement with guys like Ali Alexander definitely bothers me. I'm not gonna pretend it doesn't.
Well, explain Ali Alexander, like who this guy is and kind of what happened.
Ali Alexander is a notorious homosexual, just like Milo, who Fuentes also at one point associated with. But Ali Alexander has a taste for teenage boys, specifically teenage white boys. And so this is why I have a problem with Ali Alexander being involved in any capacity with America First, which ostensibly feeds young boys, probably Christian white boys to this fucking shitskin pedophile.
And what role did he play exactly, like in America First? And how is, if at all, how is Fuentes like involved in that?
Fuentes is one of the founders. Him and what was the other guy's name? James Alsop, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to James Alsop, but I do remember.
He got married. He got married to a white woman and had babies, if I remember correctly.
Which is something I don't think Nick will ever do, because I'm pretty convinced that Nick is gay.
For me, I think Nick's bisexual. The gay thing's a meme. I think Nick's probably bisexual, and he's obviously very effeminate. So that's
Do you think he's bi? Because I don't see him showing really any interest in women at all.
Watch the video of him with Myron Gaines, where they were talking to that black hooker. Nick had like visible jungle fever when he was staring at that black woman, that black prostitute's tits. Like he was like, like I'm pretty sure that nigga is bisexual.
I've seen this. Yeah, it's I think the best evidence that you might have, but I think there's a lot of circumstantial evidence to the contrary.
He allegedly blew Destiny, so
I do remember him like reviewing those videos almost as if like he was like, "Fuck, like, am I in this?
Am I in this?" That was the most funny part about it too, right? Like he is, what was it, Thanksgiving Day, and here he is watching the Destiny leaks to make sure he's not in them, and it's like, oh no.
And here's the thing: is like I don't even disagree with a lot of the things that he says. A lot of the things he reports to say, like I don't even disagree with a lot of them.
That's the funny thing about the whole thing too, right? Like two or more things can be true of a person at the same time. You can be disgusted by a person's behavior and or beliefs, like some of their beliefs, and still agree with some of the things they say. Again, this has happened to me throughout my life. Like there have been like 2 or 3 occasions I've agreed with Ben Shapiro. God, may God have mercy on my soul for admitting that. But it's happened. But it's happened, and it's just like, oh, wow.
I think, I mean, I used to listen to him like unironically, I think that's just kind of part of the pipeline, I suppose, to like where we're at now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair point. All of us who were sort of there in the early days of the sector, we're all kind of, I guess, jaded as compared to the newer way of the audiences who don't know all the deep lore.
Right.
Because there's stuff even like, not that I'm not aware of, but like stuff that even I've forgotten. And like I'll watch, like I was recently, like watch Mikey No More's videos, and it was just like, holy crap, I forgot about that thing about quartering. Yeah, that's right, he did do that. Like, damn.
So here's the thing, right? Like there was a lot of controversy recently because Tucker called Fuentes something like a weird gay kid who's a Fed or whatever. Like, do you think that there is any truth to the Fed thing?
I have trouble with that one for one reason only. Not because I don't believe it, but because it's reached like unfalsifiable status. We can't prove it, we can't disprove it, and it's just yeah, it's one of those things. But it's just that video though, man, like where he's talking at the J6 video where he's talking about disregarding the cops and like going inside. Like he said some shit in that video that would get you or I thrown in a black site.
I agree, and that's the thing that really troubles me. It's like obviously like the feds are everywhere, right? And like
yeah,
Fuentes was obviously to them, even if not to the mainstream, to them a known entity, like well before J6.
Yeah.
So to have
because
him
of
go
Charlottesville.
there, well, definitely because of Charlottesville, yeah. But to have him go there and say shit like that, like they arrested like grandmas for doing nothing and put them in jail for nothing, but
not only
not
that,
him. Like that's very very odd to me.
Not only that, Baked Alaska only served, what was it, like a few months in jail?
Yeah.
Fuentes got no time. A bunch of the Groypers were rotting in prison for God only knows how long. And
That's true,
Fuentes
and he kind of disregarded them. He didn't really.
No, he didn't. He outright mocked them at one point. I don't have the clip on hand. It's on my old hard drive, but if you poke Jaden or whatever the heck that guy, his former capo's name is.
Jaden McNeil.
Jaden McNeil, that's it, thank you. He would definitely have that clip because that was wild.
Yeah, it doesn't seem, and I even see him like reading super chats and like really like shitting on like some of the people who are donating to him. Like I really couldn't even imagine like doing that. I mean, maybe if it's like an obvious troll or whatever, but these are people asking like genuine things, and like he kind of just like shits on them. I don't feel like he cares about them much at all.
Well, cluster B people and narcissists tend not to care about others. They only care about what others can do for them.
The J6 thing really, like, I'm not trying to be like a quote unquote Fed jacketer or whatever, but like that shit does kind of ring like alarm bells for me. Like there were people who were thrown in prison for years for nothing, and he did that
Yes.
and got nothing. Like that's very strange to me.
Yeah, well, for me it rang. It concerned me because the same thing with what was it, Roy or Ray Epps, whatever the
Ray Epps, yeah.
The confirmed Fed plant, because he wasn't arrested or charged either, and it's the same thing with the Gretchen Whitmer, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah, the fake kidnapping plot orchestrated by Feds.
No, not only was it orchestrated by Feds, but the one who tried to do the crime, who tried to organize the crime, was the literal informant. Like the guy who was trying to get them to do illegal shit was literally a criminal and an informant.
Yeah.
It's wild. So I'm always very wary when someone does something that would get you or I in trouble, and they don't get in trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it could be that, he had a lot of information or whatever, maybe about his supporters or something like that.
Don't know.
And maybe he struck a deal. I couldn't say. Like, I'm not saying that did happen, but I'm also not saying that didn't happen. I just don't know.
Well, we know Fed Laska rolled over, so at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, Baked Alaska is kind of like a weak individual, so it wouldn't surprise me.
There's a reason why they called him Snaked Rat Laska for the longest time.
But he also like accused like Tucker of like being a Fed and like his dad or whatever, and I think there's probably a truth to that too.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, probably his father was a CIA agent, right?
Right.
Yeah. So,
or at least
I think
I don't know the full details, or at least he was like a contractor of some sort.
I think the issue we run into, you and I have had this conversation in private before, and I think the issue we both sort of the conclusion we both came to is it seems like there's a war within the agencies. There are good feds, there are bad feds, and there are undecideds.
It seems like a lot of the people who talk about who have like the means to know and who talk about these things, and of course, like take any one of those people, always take anything they say with a grain of salt, a big one. But all the people who say that do say that they are kind of like warring factions, like within the intel agencies. So
yes,
it's not at all implausible to say that there are maybe some good glowies out there who are actually like on our side. Yeah, I mean, statistically, there would have to be at least some.
Yes, I think it's statistically improbable that they're all just like golems who serve the enemy, right?
Yeah. So I don't know, like maybe that's the case. Maybe Tucker's a good glowy. I have no idea.
I don't
really
know.
Don't know.
I don't. I will say I don't trust him for the same reason I don't trust Fuentes. I'm just suspicious of him, but it doesn't mean he's bad. I don't trust him.
And I think that's fair. I think you should be skeptical of anyone who has any ties to any of those things.
Yeah.
That being said, like Fuentes becoming mainstream, even though I don't agree with everything this guy thinks, but I do agree with some of what this guy thinks. I do think him becoming mainstream is good for the Overton window.
Yes. Okay. People. One of the things I have noticed is as the Overton window shifts a little bit, and yes, it is important this happens. Stop saying the Overton window doesn't matter, people. Culture needs to shift further toward the right. Anyone who tells you culture shifting toward the right is unimportant is a subversive rat. They are not on your side. I've noticed that as the Overton window shifts a little more toward the right bit by bit, guys like Andrew Torba have a larger platform, and that's important. I understand Torba can be a bit of a spurg. That's okay. You don't have to like him. But he is Christian. He is our brother.
For what it's worth, I do like Andrew Torba.
So do I, for the record. He's a bit spurgy, but I do like. I have a lot of respect for him because he speaks out.
So are we.
Dude, that's exactly it, right? Like, you're on the internet. You're either retarded, gay, or both. Like, it's... like, that's the reality. Because if we weren't, we'd be fucking Delta Force or some nonsense, right? Like, we'd be out breaking our backs in the military. Because
or just total normies.
Yes, exactly, right? Like, that's exactly it.
We'd be boring. There's almost nothing worse than boring. I'll take the gay and the retarded, I guess, over the boring.
Yeah. Well, I often said, like, the worst people to be friends with are boring people because they bring nothing. They do nothing.
I mean, there's another universe out there where we could be, sitting on Reddit talking about who won what Oscar or some other like lame bullshit. I'd rather be this than that.
You know what's funny about that? I've never been that person in this lifetime. For one reason and one more reason only. I only talk about those things ironically because I don't care about them. I am such a little weirdo. I'm so anti-parasocial nonsense. I don't form bonds with like bands and stuff like that. I didn't know the names of the band members of my favorite band until I was in my 20s.
Oh, I'm still like that. Like I don't like care about their personal lives really. I'm just
like that's exactly
kind of what they do.
I have this opinion that people get super mortified when they hear me say it. I do not care which monkey made the music. Just give me the music.
Right. And like judge it on its own merit.
Yes. Like I want the art. I don't care about the artist. And I know that may sound cold, but it's just, I just want to enjoy the medium. I don't care who made it. You could tell me Mojimbo Gabupe made the greatest painting ever, and I would forget his name in 20 minutes. I wouldn't care. I would just marvel at the painting because I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I think I'm mostly in agreement about that too. I remember some old coworker was like criticizing me for, listening to like a certain band or whatever. And he's like, "Oh, you really like, you're fine with whatever the singer's name was." He's like, "You're fine with what such and such did." I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I don't even know who that is. Like, I
Dude,
don't give a shit.
It's because people like you and I, we separate the art from the artist. We don't care about the artist.
And, like, I
Like,
never understood celebrity worship. I
no,
don't get it. I find it to be, not to sound, like, pompous or arrogant, but I find it to be, like, extraordinarily low IQ, and that's coming
no,
from my dumbass.
but it is though. It's idol worship. You're placing importance on something that ought not be important.
Like, people who scream and cry for Taylor Swift, or, like, people who are like, "Oh, I can die happy now because such and such won a Grammy." I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I
Yeah,
don't even care about the awards themselves. Like, I don't care about this at all.
yeah, dude, it's so funny.
Like, just enjoy the music that you enjoy. Like, we talked about this in episode 1 with Brian about the Game Awards. It's
yeah.
like, I think it's just people seeking validation. Like, yes, the experts agree that, like, the actors or the movies or the music that I like, it really is the best. It's like, who gives a fuck, man? Just, like,
Dude,
enjoy your shit.
that's exactly it. Like, if I needed validation, I would be a very different person. Like, I don't, and this is gonna again out me as like an antisocial weirdo, but
That's it doesn't make you antisocial. It makes you your own man.
I just
And
don't
I think
care what
that's
other
an
people think of
honorable
the
thing.
things I like. Nah, I
Just
don't know.
because society has, like, largely trended towards, like, being lemmings more or less,
Yeah.
doesn't make you weird from, like, an objective sense.
No. I just mean that like I'm so hard in the other direction. I don't care what most people think about me. Like someone will insult me and like all depending on whether I find it amusing or not. Like I'll either respond with fake anger or confusion, or I'll make a joke back if it's particularly funny. It just depends on sort of
Well,
the
I think,
occasion.
like, dabbling in the corners of the internet that, we've dabbled in, the things that we've talked about and all that kind of stuff, you're kind of immune to most insults at this point.
I but funny
I'm like
enough, there are
I'm at the point I've been for a long time, like, "Bro, come at me." Like, at least just make it funny. Like, be funny
bro.
and original, but,
My thing is don't make it funny, make it fucked up, because fucked up's what makes me laugh.
oh, well, fucked up is funny. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, not that, this is only episode 3, so not that I've set too much of a precedent, but in the other 2, we tried to kinda cover, like, the gaming stuff first, because this is, like, a gaming channel, like, first and
Yeah.
foremost. It's the whole reason, that I'm here and doing this at all. Like, I'm happy to talk about, like, some other things, like, we talked about sector stuff. I'm happy to
Yeah.
delve into politics a little bit, just because, like, not that I want to be overly political necessarily. It's just like my views color my perspective. I
They do.
can't divorce them from what I think.
Well,
And,
no,
like, that'll bleed
it's
into
just not how
games.
reality works, right?
Right. Like, and that'll bleed into games, like, if I'm being genuine and honest about my perspective, I'm gonna have to call out certain things that I find egregious, and sometimes that can be for, principled reasons. So, I guess, like, to delve into the gaming stuff, for you personally, like, how did you get into gaming? What was your first piece of gaming hardware, whether that was, like, a console, handheld, PC, maybe?
It was an Atari. I don't remember which model. I apologize. The first thing I ever played was an Atari.
What was the controller like? Was it the joystick with the one red button, or was it, like, the number pad?
I think it was a joystick with the one red button.
Oh, that was the first one. That was the 2600.
Okay, so it was the 2600. I wanted to say 2600, but I wasn't totally sure, and I didn't want to get it wrong. That's totally fair.
That was by
Thank
far
you.
the most popular of those, like, 3 from that time.
Yeah, I played a fair amount of games, but I thought it was really cool. And then my grandfather, being the absolute Chad that he was, got me an original NES. And it was probably the greatest gift I had ever been given because I got to experience a lot of really cool stuff on the original Nintendo. I got to play the original Final Fantasy, which I admittedly hated at the time. I did not like RPGs as a youngin', believe it or not.
But we'll certainly get into it because we've had this conversation in private. You're definitely a big RPG fan now.
Yes, RPGs. Like when I became like when I started to approach adolescence, and like because my brain was developing, obviously, I became fascinated with the systems that went into RPGs, and I became obsessed with them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always like, I chose the path of game design, so, like,
Yeah,
clearly, like, the systems really, like, interest me as well, and,
yeah.
how they all fit together. Like you develop all these pieces and turn them into one like brilliantly like cohesive puzzle. I find to be
Yeah.
very interesting.
Well, it's just a cool concept in general, right? Uh, I it's gonna help me as a proper retard, but I don't care. I am what I am, brother. I used to track things like monster HP, items stolen, items dropped during encounters, frequency of like items dropping in encounters on like graph sheets, like sheets of graph paper when I was
I
playing an
actually
RPG.
I didn't go that far, but I do miss the days of like having to make your own like paper maps of like say
Yes,
a game from like we'll use like Phantasy Star 1, like from the Sega
yes,
Master System as example. Like you had those cool first person dungeons.
yeah, because it was a
And
dungeon crawler.
yeah. And you really had to like there's no in-game way to do it. Like you had to manually like map it out so you didn't get lost and that you knew you
Dude,
covered everything.
It's actually one of the reasons why I thought it was a huge blessing when games like Arcana on the Super Nintendo included a map system, an in-game map system that you could reference.
Yeah, isn't it kind of crazy to think of like a time when that was like a new feature?
Yes, because I grew up when it was a new feature, right? So I was like, holy shit, this is mind back. Like when you don't grow up with the progression, or you don't play the progression, because you don't necessarily have to have grown up with it to appreciate it, right? You can simply experience it and go, oh wow, okay, this is really cool. I see how this evolved. Yeah, it's
Yeah, like when I started out on the Super Nintendo, and like the
yeah,
N64, because I was born in '95. The N64 came out in 1996 in
yeah,
America,
83 for me. I was born in 83.
and like my parents were very young, so like they gamed. Like my mom was like big into like Mario and Zelda, and my dad was more into like RPGs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so like I was actually really blessed to have been born into a fairly sizable game library at that time. So I got to experience so
That's
much.
Yeah, see, my
And
my grandfather wasn't into that stuff, but like he saw that I was, and he was just my
he was
grandpa
just
was
being a
awesome.
total fucking king.
Just my grandpa was awesome. Like he was like for better or worse, he was my. I wish I had. I've said it many times. I wish I had appreciated all the wisdom he attempted to impart upon me when I was younger. I didn't
Yep.
because my mom, in her infinite wisdom, chose to mate with a Celtic gentleman, and I'm a little hot headed as a result. I was for a long time. It is what it is, man.
Dialed up
It's
the angsty teenager to 11, I'm sure.
oh, dude, you have no idea. It is what it is.
But I didn't get into things that were older, like NES or Master System or like anything like that, until like way later. Where like there was a time where I thought like the internet was for dorks, right? Like I was not
Yeah,
like an internet user at all. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna play my games and like yeah, like I'll play games online, but actually like going on a computer and doing such and such, like other outside of maybe playing like
that's
RuneScape
for the
after it was
queers.
new it was gay. It's like no, I'm gonna go out and play sports and hang out with friends and stuff. Like that's just for
Dude,
nerds.
I did both. My grandfather made sure I did both. I played hockey, I played soccer. I only played soccer for one season though because I hated it. I played baseball for 3 seasons, and I think I did hockey for 2 or 3.
I did baseball, basketball, football. I didn't
I
get into
hated
hockey later in
basketball.
life.
I hated basketball. I hated not baseball. I sucked at baseball, but I did enjoy it. I sucked at hockey too, but again, did enjoy it. I'm not a like a quick person. I'm built like a dwarf. I'm sturdy.
Well, baseball, like when I played, I think I did 3 years of it. I thought it was so boring unless you were batting. And that was something I was really good at. I was good at hitting, but everything
Yeah.
else, like it was like a snooze fest. I never liked it. Um, but like it wasn't until like I decided to like I think buddies like showed me like AVGN like way back. Like and I mean way back, it's like he was already a thing, but like for me it was like in high school. It was like 2012, I think. So I kind of got into it pretty late. Um, but they showed me like AVGN, all this like funny like retro game content. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like this is interesting. And then, like, I got, like, really hooked and, I started following tons of just, like, retro gaming content, which is still my favorite, content. I don't watch as much as I used to, but
Mhm.
it really, like, got me into, like, older games. It helped me, like, really appreciate, like, how games have progressed over time
Yeah.
and seeing just, like, getting to witness, like, this pioneering of this medium in which I loved so much.
Yeah.
Um, and I played so
Wait.
many of these games, like, way past their time. Like, I didn't even play, certain NES games until, like, 2016 or so, but I still,
Dude,
like, loved them.
I didn't play Final Fantasy V until it got re-released on the PlayStation. Like, I didn't know it existed. Like,
Well, I
that
think
was
they did their best, when they, like, named our Final Fantasy 4 2 and our 6 3, like, to have
yeah.
us not know.
Andy getting that wrong on a stream the other day was very frustrating. We were like, "No, Andy, you retard! Don't make me defend Phildo Beggins because he was correcting DSP and saying it. No, it was the other way around. Six was 2, and the 3 was 4
Andy
was 3." And I'm
Worski,
like,
he knows better. He should know better.
fucking Tardsky, man.
Sad.
It's
But
just I had Sandy's. Oh my god, Sandy! What the fuck? Andy's never. That's the only time Andy's made me genuinely angry. Like that fucking. I was raging. Like, what the fuck, Andy? No, don't
you
make
know,
me defend Phil.
I grew up with I'll use the proper name. I grew up with Final Fantasy 4 on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But I was like really young and like I wasn't into it. Like I didn't get it. It didn't click. It wasn't until like I was a little older and I played Fable on the original Xbox, which I would still say is an RPG, but it's a pretty shallow one. It's kind of on rails in a way, but that really like got me into the genre. It was like a baby's first RPG, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoyed it. And then like I was hungry for more and something like more complicated. And then I moved on to things like westerns like Morrowind, which I love, or
Yeah.
like Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy X, which I love, stuff like that.
Final Fantasy X
And
still has probably one of not probably one of because I'm mitigating credit there, and that's stupid. It has one of the best turn-based combat systems I've ever experienced.
oh, absolutely. I feel like they should have just stuck with it and like never changed it. I
I
really, really
I would have
dread
been
a lot of the games after that. Like I like 12, but 13 and 15 and 16, I'm just not into it.
no. For me, another one that's really cool, not Final Fantasy, but is produced by Enix slash Square, Valkyrie Profile. It was a hybridization of fighting, like a fighting game, and turn-based combat.
Was
And it
that
was this
PS1 or PS2, right? Is that the one
PS1.
I'm thinking of? Okay.
Yeah, Valkyrie Profile was PlayStation 1. And then eventually the Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, which was technically like I don't want to call it a remaster, a re-release with like minor updates, like feature additions, released on the PSP, which was pretty cool, actually. I liked Valkyrie Profile Lenneth a great deal. Because it was nice to replay the classic with some slight enhancements. I thought that was cool. Good of
Yeah, I
them
was
to
talking
do.
to Andy about the PSP and how underrated I feel it is.
One
But
of the best
they had
handhelds
a
to.
oh, for sure. And when it came out, it was so futuristic. Like I love the Game Boy Advance, but it made the Game Boy Advance look retarded. It made the DS look
Did
retarded.
did
And like you had a
one of
lot of
my
like older games that got like enhanced ports on it. Square was
yeah
really good about that. Like you got like all the original Final Fantasy games on that thing, I think, in
yeah
physical
man
format too.
you got what was it I have them here somewhere. They're in my I have a Electrolux box, like one of those old vacuum cleaner leather boxes, but because we don't have a vacuum cleaner that goes in it or that would fit in it, I keep my video games inside of it.
That's
That's
pretty
what my
cool.
collection is. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, the PSP
our
was really
vacuum
wonderful.
cleaners our vacuum cleaner's much too bulky to fit in that tiny that tiny box.
The PSP was really really a great handheld. And
It
it's one of the
was
last ones that actually fits in your pocket.
the
Now
the
they're all
pl-
way too big.
the PlayStation Vita was one of my favorite systems. I played Dragon's Crown extensively. Like
I would say the
lot.
Vita is probably the most underrated piece of gaming hardware ever created.
Yeah, they had huge plans for it, right? And then they just dumped it because Sony.
They changed leadership in that time because
I know
they changed leadership in the same year that it released.
I know,
and so like new Sony just killed it, which was so ridiculous and unfair.
They abandoned it, and it was such it produced such whiplash in the people who invested in it that a class action lawsuit went up and was won, and a bunch of people got I can't remember how much. I think each person got like $100 or something by the end of it, but because there were so many people who got involved in the lawsuit. But yeah, Sony lost.
I wasn't even aware of that. I never even heard of that.
Yeah, no, a lot of people aren't. But yeah, they threw up a class action lawsuit and Sony lost it. And my friend, I won't say his name, but he was one of the people who was, I didn't care enough. I had my Vita. I was good.
The Vita was just like a JRPG machine for sure. I mean, it also had other good stuff. Like it had a good Killzone game. It had a good Uncharted game. It had a Call of Duty game, like its own, which shockingly still has a player base.
Yeah. It got dumped real hard though because of that leadership change, like you said. Sorry, I'm yawning. I apologize. I'm not tired. I just, sometimes I yawn. It's the Vita being abandoned was one of the great tragedies. Although there was one fuck up on the Vita that you and I have talked about together before, and you were blown away by it. East 8 was it East 8 the Lacrimosa of Dana? The Vita version having an entire section of the game stripped out of it so that it could fit on the Vita. That when I found that out, I was so angry because I bought the Vita version thinking it would be the full game, right?
Yeah, well, usually they would denote that by having like a, Ease 8 Lacrimosa of Dana and then like a colon and like a subtitle to like show that it's like a different edition. For example, like they had like the Godfather video game, which is like a GTA like that I actually really like. But like they had like a PSP version that came out later, and it was called like Godfather Mob Wars, I think. And it was the same game, but it was just the main story. It stripped out all the like free roaming stuff. And it's like because they, denoted it as like with a subtitle, like it's fair to expect that it's going to be different in some way. But if they don't do that, then you're usually going to assume it's the same game, just, on a handheld. So that was a big mistake there on their part.
Okay, yeah. That's insane. Yeah, it really pissed me off because I went because like I told you before in private, I think this was about 2 weeks ago we had this conversation. I went and checked it out because I was struggling with a certain part of the story. First time playthroughs, sometimes I get frustrated and I'm like, all right, I've hit a wall. I'm gonna go and see what other people recommend for a solution. And I was looking through this guide and I hit this section of the guide and I'm like, wait a second, like did I blow by optional content? Because none of these things this guide is talking about where I currently am in the story happened. Like, what do you mean? And then it dawned on me, this is an incomplete version of the game, isn't it? So I Googled it. Like, I just started looking around. And as it turns out, yes, that's exactly what it is. Entire sections of the game were cut out to fit on the Vita. It's an incomplete version of the game. And as the Sony stores at the time weren't really allowing refunds, I was like, oh, I guess I'm just stuck with this unfinished piece of shit. I guess I'll just go buy the PC version.
Did you buy it digitally, like from the PlayStation Store?
No. Oh, yes. I bought it from the PlayStation Store digitally.
See, that's where you fucked up, man.
Man, I wasn't going.
A better return policy.
I wasn't going to fucking Walmart. I'm sorry. I don't. It's the only place in my area because I live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Thank fuck. We don't get a lot of the usual suspects causing problems out here because it's too cold for them. They don't like it here. They come here to work, and then when it gets cold, they fucking bail.
Do you guys have GameStops up there, or are they still called like EB Games in Canada?
They haven't been EB Games in years. They're called GameStop now.
Okay. I remember we used to down here have both, and then I heard like it was still EB in Canada, and then it was just GameStop here, but I didn't really know.
They rebranded at some point. I don't know when it was because I stopped going to the store. I got to a point where when a game came out, I would just order it off Amazon or some other website that had physicals, if it had a physical edition.
Right.
And then if it didn't have a physical edition, I just bought it off Steam.
Right. Amazon has definitely, as of late, been a lot more reliable for pre-orders than GameStop, which is kind of sad. That's kind of like one of the things that like would really be a draw to actually go to GameStop, but
Yeah.
they've been fucking up really bad.
Well, I've been fucking up really bad for years, so yeah,
Of
that
course.
sounds about right. But yeah, the East 8 Lacrimosa, that fantastic game, by the way. Play it. I know they fucked up royally. It's true, but they did a really good job with that game. And if you do the 100% ending, you get a really cool bittersweet ending. That I'm not gonna lie, I got a little choked up. I was okay with that though. I was like, all right, I dig it. Okay, I can do this. Like it's I like when games make you feel something. When they give you a story that makes you care about the characters, and then toward the end of it when something happens, you actually give a damn. That's awesome.
Well, Japanese writing in particular, like with JRPGs, like they're so good at that, like at character-driven stories.
They really are, man. It's one of the reasons I really love JRPGs so much. And it's people are like, no, we should change. No, don't fucking change them. Like, bro,
Let Japan be Japan. Like they put out good stuff.
Exactly. If you want to be part of the Japanese fan base, you must adapt to the to be part of the fan base. The games and the mangas should not adapt to you because
Well, that should go for
what,
every like fan base. It's like you should like either you should assimilate rather than try to like bring your shit to it.
Yes, you should not bring your shit. That's precisely it. And we need to gatekeep our shit. Plain and simple.
Yeah, well, I mean, Gamergate is really great evidence of what happens when we don't gatekeep.
Correct. It is. Dude, what's another game that had a lot of really like just brutal feels moments? Suikoden 2. I can't say any of them. I can't say any of them because it's spoiler. Like, I know it's like a 20-year-old game. I don't care. Play that game. It's a masterpiece.
Suikoden 2 is probably one of the best games I've ever played.
It's one of the best games ever made.
It probably is,
like,
yeah. I would love to own a physical copy, but damn, they're fucking expensive.
I used to have one, but for the same guy who stole my my tabletop, like my proprietary tabletop notes, when I was working on my tabletop system way back in the day, same guy that stole that notebook, stole my OG copies of Suikoden 1, Saga Frontier 2, a shitload of really rare games, basically.
Who the fuck steals a notebook?
Piece of shit.
You'd have to be. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, he stole a lot of shit that meant a lot to me. So I'll find him one day, and he won't like that eventuality, but it is what it is.
So I wanted to ask, with all that being said, like you started with the Atari, like you fell in love with the NES, and like you've been gaming ever since. So given all that history, like what is your favorite like game console or handheld, and why?
Ooh.
If you had to pick one.
PlayStation, the original PlayStation. There's no contest, none whatsoever.
Yeah, I knowing what I know from your game taste, that's exactly what I expected.
Yeah, pound for pound, produced the most memorable games. If we're talking about like games that like shaped my, if you want to talk about like games that influenced me the most, it would have to be the Super Nintendo. But whenever we're talking about the system that I enjoyed the most, it's by far the PlayStation.
PlayStation was just, it's pretty much untouchable in a lot of aspects.
It is, man. Like, it brought us really bizarre but fun gems like Guys.
I don't think I'm even aware of that one.
Oh my god. Okay. You should familiarize yourself. It's really cool. It's like Oh my god.
How do you spell it?
I think it's EHRGIEGIZ. I think.
Fucking Leafs saying Z. Not Z.
It's all right. It's yeah. It's guys. It's a fighting game that had a bonus mode where it was like an action RPG. It was really cool, man.
Does this have this has Cloud from Final Fantasy VII in it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So is it? Oh, so this. Oh, okay. I see. This is a SquareSoft game.
It's really cool. Like, it's really bizarre. It's just like a weird sort of yeah. It was a really cool game.
Right on the cover, it says "God bless the ring."
Oh.
Okay, this is interesting.
Dude, try it. Emulate it if you have to, or if you can find a cheap copy, like wait for the physical to come in. Well, do both. If you can find a decently priced copy, buy it and emulate it so you can play it before it gets to you. But it's really fun. It's clunky as hell, but it's fun. Like another game from that era that I really liked was Star Wars: Masters of Terraskasi, which is another fighter game. I love that game. I sucked at it. My buddy, I don't want to say his name, just to he kicked my ass constantly, but I went back for seconds every fucking time because it was fun. Even though I was fucking losing, it was fun as shit.
Just for reference, I suppose, for the audience, that game, if you want to pick it up physically, goes for about $80-ish.
Terraskasi?
No, the Air Guys.
Oh, Air Guys. Okay, that's fair. I'm actually not shocked by that because it's one of those weird, like hidden gems.
I'm surprised I've never even heard of that.
It's cool, man. Do you know about Grand Stream Saga?
Yes, I couldn't say that like I'm familiar with the gameplay or anything, but I have heard of this. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's another one you should play. It's a neat RPG on the PlayStation as well. I really enjoyed it. I can say his name because he's passed. There's no like doxing him at this point. My friend from my middle school years, Kyle, introduced me to that one, and it was so cool. It was a really cool game, man.
The PS1 just had all types of cool shit, and they were very experimental at the time, especially because 3D itself was so new.
You want to know something really funny too?
Sure.
One of the games that really made me fall in love with the original PlayStation was just a stupid, like, Pokemon game almost. Have you ever heard of a game called Eternal Eyes?
Yes.
Okay, I still have my physical copy, by the way. The English cover sucks, by the way, compared to the Japanese cover.
Yeah, it does, and that was actually really common back then too.
Yeah, dude, the English box art is gay and weak. Weak! The Japanese box art is so much more cool.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, it completely mogs the shitty one that we got.
It sucks, man. It sucks. It sucks ass through a straw. Oh.
They did that so often. Like you can even think about like the old like Dragon Quest games when they were still called Dragon Warrior, like some of the shittier box arts that we got. Or like infamously like Mega Man 1's like horrible NES box art that we got compared to like the great anime, like 80s anime that the Japanese got.
The terrible fucking like dude in a like a leotard shit box
like
art. Yeah, I hated that.
The fat guy with or whatever with like the yellow and blue like suit with the gun. It was so bad.
Well, why did they just give us the original shit, you retards? It's not that hard.
They thought that we were going to be super averse to anime or whatever, and like we're kind of scared to introduce it, I think.
And yet, the whole country, like the whole continent, fell in love with anime over time. Idiots.
Yeah, they could have cashed in much sooner, I think.
Like I still remember. This is a bit off topic, but I still remember my first anime. My first exposure to anime was, I think it's called Gundam 008 MS Team, something weird like that. But that was it's the one with Camilo as the main character, if you're unfamiliar. And it's like That was like the moment I knew I loved giant robots fighting each other. I was like, holy shit.
Oh, the Japanese are still absolutely insane for mechs.
Yeah.
Like mecha, I don't think will ever not be popular in Japan.
No, I can't blame them either. Mecha's so damn cool, man. It's
I
actually
only
one of the reasons.
had seen like a couple episodes of some kind of like Gundam series on like I don't know if you guys had Toonami in Canada.
We had a Canadian equivalent called Teletoon. It was the same channel, essentially, just rebranded. They called it
Okay.
Teletoon here.
So like I would catch some Gundam on like Toonami, but I never like saw it like concurrently.
Yeah,
I
like
always thought
it
it was
ran the
cool though.
exact same shows. Like I ran a fucking like a side by side comparison, like with a friend who lived in the U.S. because we were talking online at the time, and we compared all the shows that ran, and they were different time slots, but it was the same shows.
I did when I was a kid. I did get really into a mecha called Zoids though, that I'm sure nobody remembers.
Zoids
But
is cool. They were those weird dinosaur animal robot things, right?
yeah, and I used to like get like the models or whatever that you'd buy at like Walmart, like the toys section or whatever, and like have to
Yeah.
build.
Yeah. I liked what were they called? Mechanics, I think it was called.
I don't think I've heard of that.
It was no Meccano, sorry. Meccano. It was like metal pieces and you would screw them together to make like a not an action figure, but like a model almost.
What there was also like Robotech I've always really liked, or I guess Macross if you prefer to call it that.
Macross? Oh, yeah. I'm I'm the curmudgeon in my friend group. I don't like Robotech and Macross, but that's not because they're bad. They're just not my taste. Like
That's totally fun.
I don't believe in this whole like it's bad because I don't like it. I think they're pretty cool stories. They're just not told in a way I enjoy.
That's totally fair.
Uh, for me, like I was way more in love with oh, what is it called? I think it's called Big O.
I don't know if I know that.
Big O and Mazinger. I really, really, really like Mazinger. Like there's just something about the designs for the Mazinger stuff. It's just really cool.
You may have been too old for this, but there was a like a Cartoon Network, I guess in your case, Teletoon cartoon. It was like the art style is like vaguely anime inspired, but it was technically a mecha. It was called Megas XLR. That was also pretty cool.
I know Megas XLR very well. Chicks. Oh, is it dig giant robots? Chicks dig giant robots. I remember that intro.
Yeah. That was dope. I'm like, this guy, like this just fat guy, just has like
Dude,
this fucking mech that he controls with like a PS2 controller. It's kind of cool.
I loved it because it was three rednecks mashing junkyard vehicles together and like turning them into like a Megazord. Like that was cool as shit.
It's a cool premise.
It's just badass. I really enjoyed it. It just proper like redneck engineering, and I thought it was such a cool idea. Like kudos to whoever came up with that.
I agree.
Another show that was along the same lines too, similar but very different at the same time, was SWAT Cats. Do you remember that one?
SWAT Cats. I don't think so. I might have to look it up. I don't remember.
It was.
I think I remember.
It was a very, very odd show. I remember very little about it, but I remember enjoying it as a kid.
Oh yeah, I recognize these characters. Yeah,
Yeah.
I must have seen this before.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool stuff came out of the '90s, man.
Oh, I mean, the 90s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, like those were the best decades for pretty much any media.
Oh yeah. Well, 70s, 80s for manga and anime, but yeah, like it's actually no, even the '90s produced some really amazing manga and anime art. I don't like the more modern anime, the 2000s anime stuff as much. I like the stories, but not the art styles because they went hard into that weird sharp emo design, and everything was really effeminate, and I was not a fan of the designs as a result. The mechs often looked really cool, like the weapons often looked really cool, but the guys were super effeminate, like really gay looking. I didn't like that at all. And eventually they got away from it and started making like really masculine dudes again. And it's just like, yeah, let's get back to this. Sorry, I don't like it when guys look effeminate. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, I tend to like 2000s anime, like generally. I mean, maybe it's like an age thing too, because that's kind of like when I got into it.
I just don't like the visual designs. That's all. I think they have
that's fair.
Fantastic stories that I will watch over and over again. I'm just not super fond of the way a lot of the male characters look like emo kids.
Well, I mean, the 2000s also like birthed like the most emo kid of like any anime, which is probably Sasuke from Naruto, who became like his own like archetype. Everyone had to have a Sasuke.
Naruto, I'm sorry. It did so much damage to the medium. Irreparable damage to the fucking medium. Why did it have to exist?
It got so popular. But I definitely do really like Naruto, in particular, like the original series, as opposed to like Shippuden or Boruto or any of that. But I think that always happens when something gets like super popular.
I was more of a Flame of Recca kid. Like I was forced. I got. No, I shouldn't say forced. I chose to stay and watch it with my friends. I'm not going to be a fucking woman and like assign blame to someone else. I was convinced, and I chose to stay to watch Naruto and Flame of Recca. And of the two, I much prefer Flame of Recca. Flame of Recca had a much more like bombastic art
like
style.
The art style. Yeah, the art style's great.
It's just I like the characters a lot more too, and the way the villain dies at the end is just it borders on parody, but it's so perfect.
Like I love Naruto, but I would say like my favorite anime is probably Rurouni Kenshin.
I find it difficult to argue. Saito Hajime is a phenomenal character.
So good.
What was the guy with the bad tattoo on his shirt's name?
Sanosuke. Sagara.
Sanosuke Sagara and his friend, his childhood friend, who was a rebel. They were both really cool characters.
Yeah, Captain. I cannot believe I'm blanking on his name.
I can't remember his name either. I'm sorry. I'm not good with names.
I'm aging and I'm also tired.
That's okay.
My memory's not what it used to be.
Yeah, like my favorite character was Yayiko. We've had this conversation before. I really liked Yayiko's arc. I thought it was fucking fantastic. He goes from being this bratty little like hot-headed retard to he's still bratty, he's still hot-headed, but he becomes much more likable and reasonable, and he tries to behave honorably and become someone that like Kenshin, because his whole goal is he wants to be Kenshin's successor.
By the way, I can't believe I forgot this because it's such a like good piece of like lore from the story. But the captain's name was Captain Sagara. Like Sanosuke like took his name like in his honor.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's right. He took his first name as his last name.
I used to be able to, recite these things or like any amount of like Halo or like Elder Scrolls lore as if it were like scripture. But my brain has been filled with things like how the Federal Reserve was founded and all these types of like adult things that taking all the room.
More important data came along, and you can't recall the other stuff as easily now. No, I totally understand.
That's such a shame. I kind of miss the ignorant bliss in a way.
I do and I don't. I do because I miss the innocence of that existence.
The innocence of it, but I also hate not knowing.
Yes, that's precisely it. Like so I would rather see reality as it is than look at it through rose-tinted glasses.
And it can be tough. Like sometimes like you learn a thing and you just can't like unsee it, or like you can't like make your worldview go back to, what it was when it was a bit more comfortable.
Like the fact that Chris Chan had sex with Barb. I can't ever get away from that.
I don't even know what to say about that.
Bro, it still fucks with me to this day. I still remember where I was when I found out. I
It's
was
almost like 9/11. It's like, do you remember where you were when you found out Chris J had
no,
fucked Barb?
I do. Like you joke, but I do, and it's
I do
exactly
too.
like
I do too.
I remember where I was when 9/11 happened. Like, it was literally at my friend's place. Like, we were having a sleepover. I went over to his place where we played some Secret of Mana. And then the next morning we get up because we hear, like, a loud... Both of us fucking hear some, like, a din from upstairs. His parents are making noise. I'm like, what the fuck? We go upstairs and we spend the next, like, 8-9 hours watching the towers burn and collapse on repeat.
I guess, like,
None
you
of
know,
us
this
could
is
believe it.
obviously, like, far away from gaming, but, like, what I guess out of curiosity, because I mean, you're a bit older than I am, because when it happened, like, I was pretty young, like, I was in, like, kindergarten, but I do
Mhm.
remember 9/11. You know, I remember, like, I think I was coming home from school, I'm pretty sure it was, like, school day, and, like, there was, some reason because I think it happened in the morning, if I remember right.
Yes.
So there was some reason I came home from school early. Like my mom was taking me home, and like as we like pulled down our street, you know, like the guy on the radio was like saying, like, "I'm sorry to interrupt," you know, such and such, and you know, planes just hit the World Trade Center, you know, whatever. And my mom was like really concerned, and I didn't know what to think, you know. And we get inside, and she turns on the news, and she's just like has like her hand like covering her mouth, and you know, watching like
Yeah.
the towers burn. And to me, it's like, okay, well, people turn on the news and like, you know, you see explosions and shit all the time. So I wasn't sure why this was relevant. I didn't really, I was too young to understand.
No,
I was just
you're
like,
not going
okay,
to at
like,
that age.
no, I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna go play Kirby Superstar. You know,
Yeah.
like that's where I was, you know, in kindergarten. I couldn't be
Nice name
expected
drop,
to
by the way.
understand
That
that.
game's phenomenal.
Oh, so fucking good.
Ah, dude, such a good game.
So fucking good. And I'm pretty sure that's exactly the game I went to play. So I'm
Yeah.
not just dropping it for nothing. But like, yeah, I guess as someone who was older when it happened, how did Canadians like react to that? Like,
We were
what was it
mortified.
like up there?
We were mortified. Like, because you got to remember, like, there's this stupid fucking kayfabe bullshit that went on in Canada for the longest time, where Canadians are sort of like we had like a playful rivalry with the United States, where we would sort of like fake hating each other. At some point, it sort of became like a central identity, and Canadians genuinely began to hate Americans, which is gay. We're the same diaspora. Like, we're the British Imperial diaspora. We shouldn't hate each other. It's fucking gay. Stop it.
We just went different
Uh,
routes, like where we chose like revolution, and you know, I know this isn't offensive to you because you feel the same way. Like Canada instead chose to cuck, and you know,
yes. No, the greatest. I've said this to you in private many times, which is why you just said that. Like, the greatest mistake my countrymen made, my forefathers made, was not siding with you in your just rebellion against the crown. Because let me make it abundantly clear: the Windsors are traitors to their people.
dude, we could have had this whole continent. We could have been brothers the entire
Uh,
time.
you're going to yet, I suspect. There's some things in the wind. It seems like.
Well, if America is truly based, we will liberate Canada, and we will also get rid of all the Frenchies. We'll send them to France to live their stinky Frenchy life without us.
One can hope.
I think that would fix a lot of problems for you guys immediately.
Well, the
Because you know,
biggest problem.
Canada is like fuck. We're getting into politics again, but like Canada has been like an experiment for multiculturalism for like its entire inception. And it's pretty clear to me between like you guys and like the Quebecois, like it doesn't work.
No, and the main reason is because they're still bitter about the Acadia thing. They're still bitter that land that was allegedly supposed to be ceded to them, uh, so that they could form like the French provinces of Acadia or whatever the hell they were going to call it, was denied to them, and they were instead put on boats and shipped out because they refused to bend the knee to the crown. That's
So I guess
basically the genesis.
so I guess like you said that you guys were mortified. Like were you guys mortified because you were worried like it was gonna happen to you guys, or like were you guys mortified from
Canadians were
like genuine
largely
concern?
upset. genuinely concerned that American lives were going to be lost. Because you got to remember, like back then, we weren't poisoned. The well wasn't poisoned. We didn't hate Americans. Like we felt bad for you when 9/11 happened, and somewhere along the way, our government started like just propagandizing my people just really hardcore and trying to make us just turn on you. I don't know. Well, I know why. They're fucking f***its. Like, let's be honest.
It's a shame because we share so much culture.
Yeah, well, my grandfather said something to me in my youth that I didn't appreciate back then, but I came to appreciate in about my mid to late 20s. He said, when America sneezes, Canada catches a cold. And the idea is very simple, but it's very true. The notion is that our culture is downstream of yours because we're part of the same diaspora.
Yeah.
What
But
what
our
happens
biggest
in
export is culture, and like we're
yes,
a neighboring superpower who has a lot in common with you.
That's correct. And plain and simply, what comes to pass in the United States will pass in Canada. As a direct result, we've always had a vested interest in what goes on in the United States, though many Canadians won't admit that because they're egotistical fuckwits.
Yeah, emphasis on the egotistical. Canada here used to always have the stereotype of like you guys are super nice and this and that, but like
We used to be.
I think maybe
We
that used to
used to
be
be.
true, but my experience now, like with Canadians, is kind of the same as like Europeans. It's almost like you guys hate us like for not really that many, like sure there's criticisms of America and I have them myself, but for not like real reasons. It almost comes off as like envious and then like arrogant, like without real reason to be. And that's how
Yeah.
the Europeans have treated us for a very long time, which is why generally I don't like them. I find them uh very like pompous and annoying. And it's almost like from like my perspective, I'm like, you guys kind of live as like total like subservient cucks. Like I don't know what you're being arrogant about exactly. That's not to
I'm
say there
not
aren't
fond
good
of
Europeans out there. Like there's some that are great.
yeah. Well, hey, I like Jatnell, for instance. I probably butchered his username, but Jat's a pretty decent dude.
Yeah, I mean, there are like cool ones to find, and some that I've come across like in recent years. Like the cult game guys are really cool. I'm pretty sure the CEO is from Germany, but I think his own game is banned in his own country, which is crazy.
Jeez.
But
Yeah, like
those are cool people.
some of the guys I talked to who used to be part of the Comicsgate community. I won't say their names just to avoid causing any issues for them, but they used to be part of the Comicsgate community. They're pretty good dudes too. They're a far cry from what I would call a Euro or Euro trash, right?
Yeah,
They're
of course. But obviously, unfortunately, like being a Euro is extraordinarily common.
It
It's
is,
the most common
unfortunately.
I come across, and it's always like every time I encounter one, it's like, "Let me tell you about your country." It's like, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care. Like, generally, like, I don't give a shit what any foreigner thinks about, like, my, like, US policy, like, especially when it's domestic policy. Like, I could not care less, And also, like, I don't think they should really care about what I think about their, domestic policy. I'm not voting in, German polls. Like, what does my opinion really matter?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, "Oh, you Americans and your gun culture." Like, okay, well, your aunt's friend got like gang raped by, Muslims and couldn't defend herself like last week. So I'm sorry. Like I'm gonna keep my firearms, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really care what you think about it.
The only thing keeping those retards at bay is that they don't have easy as easy victims right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And they Europeans in particular, like they seem to like really like hate themselves and they almost like project it outward. It's very
Uh,
strange. Germans
you
especially.
can't You can't. I see. This is the problem with demoralization. One of the fundamental truths about love is if you do not love yourself, you cannot love others. This is why when you see demoralized people, they don't like anyone. They can't because they don't like themselves. This is the
I've
nature.
always like where does that saying come from? Like where does that idiom originate? I've always been very like back and forth on like whether I actually like believe that or not.
I don't know. I don't know where the idiom comes from. I don't know the origin of it, but it's something that I've noticed to be true, because always the people who hate others they don't love themselves. There's no foundation on which their identity stands, no proper moral foundation, and it's extremely. I've not encountered a single instance of this not being true, and it's like look at the meme of the bitter feminist, right? When you look at these people and you see how angry and bitter they are toward other people, watch them closely in their personal lives. See how they treat those that are close to them. You'll notice a pattern, and then you watch more closely. Watch how they treat themselves, and you will identify what I have identified, and that is they do not love themselves. Therefore, they cannot love others.
I would say that the best evidence for that claim being true would probably just be progressives in general. They seem
Yes.
to really like hate themselves and everyone else.
Yes.
And I think they project that on others. Like they project
They
that
do.
on right wingers. Like, you guys are hateful. It's like, I don't hate you guys at all. Like, I strongly disagree with the things you guys think and the things you guys do. And I think
I hate their
you're hurting
beliefs.
everybody. Yeah, but I don't
I
hate them.
I hate their beliefs to my very core, but I don't hate them as people. I just
No.
don't want to be
But
around them.
but they don't I don't think that they would say the same. Like, they, like,
No.
think that we should be purged more or less. I mean, we had this, uh Jay Jones, I think. I hope I'm getting that name right. Like, we had that guy in, I believe, Virginia, win his election after it came out that he was saying that, like, he wants conservative kids to die so the conservatives feel pain. Like, I can like there's probably nothing I oppose more than like outright communism, Like, you can't even be like orthodox and be communist. Like, you'll be like completely like cut off. There's pretty much
Well,
no
yeah.
ideology I hate more than like Marxism. But I would not say
No group was
I would
more
never even
persecuted.
dream. Oh yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
Like in the Soviet Union, like Orthodox
Yeah.
Christians. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's Christians in general, like across the board. It didn't even matter if you
Yeah.
were if you were Christian, you were persecuted in the Soviet Union.
And my the one I go to in particular is Rokor, Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia. And
Yeah.
they know a thing or two about the commies, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I could never imagine saying like, I want commies kids to die so that the commies feel pain. Like, that's horrible. Like,
It's grim.
I would never even conceive of thinking something like that.
It's grim, and no, I don't want their children to die. That's a level I
I
don't.
want their ideology to die, not them.
Yes, yeah, I want their ideology to die. I want them to become deprogrammed from demoralization, so that they can become actual human beings instead of whatever it is they've become.
Yeah, the distance between those two is unbelievable. And then once you dismantle things like subjective morality and such, and realize that there is objectivity to the world and to truth and whatnot,
Yeah.
um, it becomes completely impossible to support like these ideologies, or even those horrible, I would say, either entirely or borderline like genocidal ways of thinking. I could never attach myself to any of that.
Yeah.
That being said, I know we strayed again, and I apologize, but I do think that was an interesting thing to bring up. Um, we were talking about games and RPGs, and you mentioned your favorite console was the original PlayStation, which, knowing your game taste, is exactly what I would have predicted. So I guess that being said, I wonder how many of these will be on PlayStation. This is a question that Brian and Andy have both struggled with, and I also struggle with, so I understand. Feel free to take your time.
Yeah.
If you had just top of your head, like, don't think about it too much, just the first 5 games that come to your mind. If you had to pick a top 5 favorite of all time, like, what would be your top 5?
Secret of Mana, Breath of Fire 3, Suikoden 2, 2 more. I would say, God, what is that game's name? It was an RPG on the original Golden Sun for certain. And
That's the Game Boy Advance one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And one more.
One more. Goodness. I would say I'm gonna get flack for this, but I don't give a shit. Warframe. I really enjoyed the early iteration of Warframe.
I
a
remember we
great deal.
talked about Warframe, and we talked about that you didn't know Dark Sector was like like a real game.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was actually a game. I knew that it inspired. I thought it was just like a tech demo, though. I didn't know it was a full-on game.
Dark Sector's pretty good. I would give it a chance.
Yeah, I spent about, I think it was like 5,300 hours in Warframe.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Just
I mean, you
playing with
mentioned earlier
friends.
how you like really appreciate like the evolution of like games, like game design mechanics. It's
Mhm.
maybe visuals, etc. So if you love Warframe, if it's in your top 5, like maybe you'll be interested to see like how Dark Sector evolved into Warframe.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely check it out because I'm kind of curious. Because
Well, I own it for I own the game, so
yeah, you said you have a physical copy.
I have it for 360 and PS3. Uh,
Nice.
so I don't know. Maybe I'll have to expedite that. Maybe I'll have to do a full video of it. Maybe,
That,
maybe
I mean, that's
if you don't play it, that's how you can see it.
I mean, that's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind watching you do like a full breakdown on it.
Yeah, I'm still working on our first one. I just want to get it right. Like my goal for this is so high. Like I have my sights set so high. Um, that this first one is going to take a while to make sure that I get everything right, and then the other ones are going to come much quicker.
Yeah.
But I
Well, because you'll have
basically,
your formula at that point.
yeah, exactly. I'll have my formula, have all the assets I need, all that kind of stuff. But basically, the goal, and it's a very high goal, is to have the best game reviews on the entire internet. And I know that's a high bar, but
Yeah, but you care about the medium, and you know the medium pretty well. So I think you'll be fine if you just put the effort in.
I think with my like real world like game design experience, I could probably bring something new to the table that maybe other people, that don't have that background, maybe couldn't or wouldn't have
Yeah.
thought of.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
For sure.
maybe this is a spoiler of sorts, but so far, like what I'm planning is like to basically turn it into like the first part of it being kind of like a let's play where I kind of like go through like the more like significant parts and like kind of comment on them as I go,
Yeah.
and then like the latter half should just be like completely like analytical and like breaking everything down and assigning it like numerical score.
That's a good. I think it's a good format. I think it'll serve you well. I think it'll annoy um, Zoomgroids, but they're not really the audience for most people anyway.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do a lot of retro stuff too. I'm not sure how many how many Zoomers are gonna be into it, but like I'm planning on just really long form stuff because that's
Yeah.
what I like.
No, I'm kind of the same way too because I like background noise when I do other things.
Yeah, I kind of want to do a thing of like basically like let's go through this game like together, and then like I'll
Hmm.
give you like my reasonings for like why I thought like what I thought.
Yeah, that's totally
And
fair.
originally like I wasn't gonna do like number scores because I don't always like them, but I kind of wanted a way to have like a concrete method of saying like this game is better than this game, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it is
It's
it is kind of difficult to balance sometimes.
yeah. It's
So brought up your top 5, and a game series that doesn't get talked about enough is something that you brought up, and that would be Breath of Fire 3. I don't feel that Breath of Fire really gets like the fanfare that it probably deserves. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know because it has a lot of cool shit going for it. It's got the main character in the first two games. The main character in the first game in particular is basically like a barbarian warrior who gets his hometown gets besieged. He gets told like he's the warrior of the dragon and like he's the only one that can sort of like save his people. They all get turned into stone. He sets off on his journey to figure out how he can cure his people and try to save the world from the dark dragons that besieged his town. Like it's a cool premise. It's really badass. It's a pretty quick paced game. You don't have to over level for most of the bosses if you don't want to, as long as you're clever. If you're
Which
an
was a
idiot,
thing back then for sure. Like
yeah,
back in the day, like you could almost always expect a ton of grinding from like an earlier
yeah,
JRPG.
yeah.
So
Wait,
I kind of appreciate the ones that don't have it. Like I don't hate grinding, but at the same time, it's like I want a game to respect my time too.
yeah, yeah. Like Breath of Fire one in particular wasn't terrible for the grind. There are a couple spots where if you didn't grind a little, you would be short on like gear stats and you might get your ass whooped. But you could always clinch out the victory on like lucky crits or using items, consumables that force you to crit sort of thing. So there's always like a workaround in some capacity. You just have to be clever about it.
Like there were games like Dragon Quest 1, for example, or I guess Dragon Warrior as we knew it. That game was grindy as fuck, man. So grindy. Like I remember I first played it, as an adult, and I'm sitting here getting wrecked by slimes. I'm like, am I retarded? Like, is there something wrong here? You start off so weak.
The PlayStation one was probably my favorite in that series. The 7, I think it was called. Yeah.
That is not a take I hear commonly, but I am really happy to hear that because I don't think it gets enough love. They are doing the reimagined version that's coming out, I think, this year, and it does look pretty cool. Yeah, I hope so too. I've heard they made some changes, so we'll see if those are for the better or not.
I'm gonna have to pick it up because that was my favorite one in the series, and I think I'll definitely play it.
If you get to it before I do, I would actually really appreciate it if you tell me about it. I want to know what you think.
Sure.
Most people, when picking Dragon Quest, I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. I was just gonna say, like, I don't mind giving input. That's all.
I would say, like, usually when people talk about Dragon Quest and their favorite, oftentimes these days I'm kind of surprised. I hear people say 11 a lot, but traditionally the answer was always 8.
I mean, 8's pretty cool. I didn't mind it. I didn't play 11. I heard it's pretty solid, but
11 is pretty fucking good.
I skipped it because it was on a console I didn't have, and I was just like, I'm not buying a console for one game.
It's on PC now, though, I think.
I think so. I should probably grab it.
Dragon Quest 11 is super good. And they even they have a mode where you can play the whole game in like top down
in 2D.
Yes. That is like a crazy overachievement on their part.
I saw that and I was so impressed. That was the only reason I even for a second thought about buying a console for Dragon Quest 11. I was like, no, I'm not going to, but that is cool. I was just I'll wait for it to hit PC thing. And
I think when that game first came out, I think it was a PS4 exclusive. And then when they made like the S version, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. That one released for PS4 again, and then Switch and Xbox, and I think PC as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely grab it though if it's hit PC because that's cool. Because I remembered watching footage of someone playing it in 2D and went, that's a nice throwback.
It's super fucking cool, man. And there's games like even like older JRPGs, some of them which I didn't feel like I ever had to grind, like Phantasy Star 4. I felt like the pacing was pretty good. I don't know about you, but I don't remember having to grind at all.
Phantasy Star 4, there were a couple areas where as long as you fled combat, you were fine. You could avoid the harder enemies. You technically didn't really have to grind. I grinded in areas to see generally if they dropped any interesting, unique items, which oftentimes the answer was no, but there were some areas where you would grind and you would get like a really rare weapon, and you'd go, well, what does this do? And it would be a stupidly overpowered weapon for the time you would use it for. It was like, oh, okay.
And I also cannot overstate how good Phantasy Star 4 is. Like, if you're interested in games like that and you haven't played it, I could not recommend it enough.
It's one of the greatest RPGs of all time.
Absolutely.
Phantasy Star 4 is a great wrap up to the series, and I'm so glad no games came after it.
I'm glad because I don't think they'll do better, but I'm also sad because, like, how could you not want more?
Yeah, they tried in vain with the action games to sort of continue the story, and it's just like, this is dog shit. I'm not interested.
Phantasy Star Online 2 I had a lot of fun with, actually, until they did the whole New Genesis thing, which I did not like.
New Genesis is awful.
It is awful. But the regular Phantasy Star Online 2 was super good.
The sad part about it, too, is New Genesis had so much room for awesome.
I know. If I had a list of like most disappointing games of all time, like that would definitely be in there.
I was so happy that they were updating the engine. The graphics were getting like a slight update. And then they delivered the product, and I went, "You just turned it into a grind loop. That's all you did.
A bad one too.
Like, it's not even a fun grind loop. It's just awful. What are you doing?"
Yeah, and that sucks because obviously the support for the original goes away when, New Genesis comes out. There's no more events and no more concerts or whatever. Like, Phantasy Star Online 2 was so cool.
Yeah.
And I definitely miss it a lot. But I find that there's not a whole lot of reason to play it. It's like now that New Genesis is out, like it's kind of done.
No one really plays it unless they're making a new character and need to go do PSO2 content for unlockables in New Genesis.
Right.
That's it.
Final Fantasy X sometimes got a little grindy. There's one particular point I remember having to grind for.
No. There's no grind in Final Fantasy X. There's only the illusion of grind. People always say this to me, and I go, okay. You think grind in Final Fantasy X? There is no grind. You are lying to yourself. What there is AP to overdrive and triple AP. You put that on a weapon. You go get your shit pushed in by the Cactuar boss repeatedly. You'll get 99 sphere levels for battle. You're welcome. It's over. There is no grind. That is an illusion.
There was this, like, the one encounter with Sin, I remember, that I grinded at. There was the Thunder Plains I grinded in a bit. And that's because back in the day when I played this game, I was retarded and didn't use enough backup saves. And I basically got stuck at one of the bosses, Evray, if you remember.
Yeah.
I was just not strong enough, and like everyone was just getting petrified, and it was
the petrification debuff, if you weren't prepared for it, if you didn't have a way to mitigate it, was kind of vicious.
Yeah, it was fucking brutal, and I was so butthurt, dude, because
I
fucked myself. I broke my save. Like, I can't get out of this.
The one that really made me laugh was the undead dragon zombie that you fight in the water. You just throw a phoenix down, you move on. It's like
Final Fantasy X was, I thought, it was such a good fucking game. I had this conversation with Andrew Wilson about gaming, and he does not like Final Fantasy X. And I think his reasoning is that he thought like Tidus was like kind of a queer. And it's like, all right, like maybe, but like
Tidus is an obnoxious character. I wasn't terribly. I understand why he's bland. He's bland because he's the character. He's the player's self-insert. Whereas Yuna's technically the main character of the game. It's not really Tidus' story as a result, which I kind of get it. Like, but could they have just not made him such a fucking fatty California bro? Like, it's just so obnoxious. Like, I just don't like him.
He was telling me about his favorites, and I think his favorite, if I remember correctly, was 6, which is totally fair. 6 is amazing.
Awesome.
And I asked him about the PS1 games, and he gave me an order. His least favorite was 9, and then 7, but his favorite was 8.
8's fantastic. Especially don't play the shitty North American localized version. Play the original, play a translated version, fan-translated version of the Japanese version of 8. Squall is a completely different character. He's not insufferable. He's stoic. He's not some fucking faggy emo kid. He's actually a stoic. And the awful localization we got that made him an infamous character has nothing to do with who he actually is as a character. His character is actually closer to who they made him in the Kingdom Hearts games. He's a stoic.
Yeah. Yes, and I feel that way. I remember like not knowing that about the translation and stuff. And I know a lot of people have like criticisms of like the junction system in 8, and that's kind of off-putting for some people.
It's too OP,
I don't
but it's
necessarily
cool.
agree, but I get it. And I remember like playing Kingdom Hearts, and you have Squall and you have Cloud in it, and I'm like, wow, they're so different in this game.
The junction system is a really cool idea executed poorly. It's too powerful. It makes your characters like unstoppable.
Yeah, I haven't played 8 in such a long time. And I never finished it because I never owned it.
Yeah.
but I do remember like it seemed very easy to become overpowered if memory serves.
Once you have aura, it's over. Aura forces limit break. You just swap between characters until their limit break triggers, and then you use a limit break, and then you do it over and over and over again. You can't lose. It's just auras. You literally have to do the turny shit and Final Destination yourself to not. Yeah, it's.
So, you could get really overpowered in 10 too with all the summons.
Well, especially when you unlock the Mega Sisters, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this fight's hard? Okay. Ifrit, Valifor, whatever.
Dude, it's wild. Like, Yuna is... No other character matters in the end game 10 because Yuna is OP. That's the takeaway
Super
from...
OP. Yeah.
Like, the fight... you're fighting the optional encounters? Okay, just summon Mega Sisters and let the little one spam Pasado over and over again. Boss is dead.
I guess I'll ask you, one final thing before we wrap up, and that would be clearly you're a JRPG guy and you know your stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about this genre of games all day.
Yeah.
I truly do love them, and there's so many that I haven't played yet that I would really like to. I just haven't gotten to them, and I'm unfortunately sometimes a little bit addicted to PvP multiplayer stuff. I just love it. It's a fun experience.
Yeah. I know you like teabagging people. I get it.
Oh, I love it. Me and Andy went in depth on that in the last one.
Nice.
So I guess what I would ask you is, what is like a kind of a hidden gem like JRPG that most people wouldn't know about, but is super good, and they should know about it. They should give it a chance.
As Your Dreams.
As Your Dreams. What is that on?
It's the original PlayStation. It took 14 save slots. It was a huge game. It's a roguelite, not a roguelike, because there's permadeath. It's a roguelite. At the end of each dungeon crawl, your main character resets, and you like sort of you start over again. But your pet character sort of retains its progress to a degree, and that's sort of your idea of progression. It's a really cool game. It's really fun, and it's gonna. If you're not careful, if you're not tactical, it's gonna fuck you right in your ass.
As Your Dreams. Okay. Now that I'm looking at this cover art, I do recognize this game. So someone at some point recommended this to me because I know it's like I have like an app where I like catalog like the games I own and like kind of like a wish list of sorts. So I know this is in there.
I know I talked about to you probably the last time we talked about JRPGs.
It may have been you.
Yeah, it may have been me.
But see, now now I'm paying attention because I know that I have this on my wish list.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic game, and I think not enough people know about it. In my opinion, it's I really loved it. Another game in that respect would be these games didn't get the fanfare they deserved. Wild Arms. Wild Arms.
Oh yeah,
is astounding. It's great. The original Wild Arms is really fantastic. The PlayStation 2 remake they did of it is fucking incredible. I don't like the soundtrack. Yes, I don't like the soundtrack as much for the PlayStation 2 remake, but the addition of Jane, Emma, and I can't remember the character's name. There's another character. There's 6 playable characters instead of just Rudy, Jack, and Cecilia. They added 3 more playable characters in Emma the Inventor, who's an important story NPC. They added Calamity Jane as a playable character, who again, important story NPC. And I can't remember. He's one of the techno-organic demons. I don't remember his name. I apologize. But they made him a playable character as well. They let him join your party.
And just to be clear, the PS2 remake is Wild Arms Alter Code F?
Yes.
Okay. Because they remade this game recently also, didn't they?
I don't think so. I don't know, though. I haven't been paying attention because the Wild Arms franchise dropped off a hill for a long time.
Oh, I apologize. I was thinking, I was like, I swear this game is on Switch. No, the game I was thinking of that's on Switch. I obviously know what Wild Arms is. I own the PS1 version.
Yeah.
But the one I was thinking of on Switch is Wild Guns, which is not at all the same game.
No, I don't know what that is. So no, I don't.
It's kind of like it's like a Western like anime style game, but it's almost like a. I'm not sure how you'd even describe this. You guys are kind of. It's like a pixelated like third person shooter almost.
Oh, it's kind of cool.
Like think of like a third person like Sunset Riders almost.
All right, so it's similar in some ways to Valkyria Chronicles.
Well, I mean, like in this one, like I don't know. Like, does your character even move? I'm not even sure for Wild Guns. Valkyria Chronicles is a cool one though.
Yeah, I really like Valkyria Chronicles. That was a really cool idea. Another
I should
one.
probably brush up on my Wild Guns. Clearly, I don't know enough about it.
No, that's fair. There was there's a tactical RPG. I think there was a game that came out on the GBA and then later again on the PSP called Riviera: The Promised Land. That's worth playing as well.
But that is one I have definitely not heard of.
Yeah, Riviera: The Promised Land was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed its sort of unique progression system. You gain stats through leveling up, but with the caveat being, you also gained bonuses from equipping weapons and mastering them, and then you would learn sort of like passives that would increase your character's potential. It's kind of neat.
So Riviera, The Promised Land, by the way, it was for PSP. It was also for Game Boy Advance. It's also on the Switch. It's on Windows, iOS, Android, and if you're a complete autist like me, it's also on the Wonder Swan color. Like, if you know what that is, then I'll say no more.
Yeah,
But if
that's
not,
Riviera: The Promised Land is a fantastic little game. I really enjoyed it. I played it originally on the GBA. I don't think I played the PSP remake. I don't remember playing it. I just remember it coming out. I didn't know the other ones, by the way. I didn't know it came out on PC and all the other stuff. That's cool. But yeah, it's a neat little game. God, what's another one?
it's an Atlas game too.
Yeah. Another one from Atlas, but it's a comedy. ZHP, Zetai. It's like Zetai Hero Project. It's goofy. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's from I don't know if it's the same team or a related team to that made the Disgaea games, but ZHP is a lot of fun. It's pretty neat.
I guess if I could give some of my own, I wouldn't say that these, like for people our age, like this isn't really unknown, but for some of the youngins, I suppose they might be unknown. But I would definitely recommend either the remaster or the PS1 version of the original Lunar.
Yes,
I really like that game, and the original Grandia, also either the PS1 or the remastered version.
Grandia is amazing. Grandia, Justin is a fantastic main character. Fina's a wonderful companion character.
Justin is probably one of my favorite JRPG main characters ever.
Yeah, dude, he's one of my favorite protagonists. Period. He's a brat. He's obnoxious. He's thoughtless. And then over time, it's the Yahiko arc, right? It's very similar to, it's not identical, but it's very similar to Yahiko's arc.
Kind of reminds me of Naruto in that way too. Like the character.
Yeah, very much so. Very similar. It's Justin's an awesome character, man.
His character design's great too.
Yeah, I dig it. He looks like an Irish lad, just the way he's dressed.
Some of those like Japanese games from like the PlayStation era, like the 90s, like the art styles were just so fucking on point.
Oh yeah, man.
Like we've lost the technology. We can no longer replicate these art styles.
Yes, we can. We can make it better. We have the technology. Fuck that. Fuck that mentality.
Well, you feel free to call Japan and let them know. You have found the technology.
Oh, that's right. Oh, it's just rehire sprite artists, man. It made better games.
there's something like if you weren't around to experience like that era, like I wasn't around to experience the NES era like as it was going on, and I really wish that I was. And like I wasn't technically around. Like I grew up with the Super Nintendo, but I wasn't around for when it was like the newest,
Yeah.
Nintendo console really. So I didn't get to experience those things, and I wish I would have. But man, experiencing like the PS1, N64, Saturn era, or like, you know, the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era, or I mean even the PS3, 360 era, like these were great times.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and I don't know if it's like an age thing to where the stuff beyond that just feels like a little shallow, or if games really aren't as good as they used to be. But they don't hit the same. And even when I go and play like an older game for the first time that I have no nostalgia for, um, they still like hit that same spot. There's something very special about those eras, I think.
I think honestly, it's because it's divorced from reality. It's still like a lot of there's a lot. The closer things get to reality, the less escapist it is. I find.
I think that's completely true, yeah. And I think nowadays with like so much real world like political shit injected into fucking everything, it's like you can't escape it.
Yeah, and it's not. It makes games slop. They're unenjoyable when real world nonsense is input into them.
Yeah, like there's no creativity to them really like at all. And
Well,
you don't have to make this like I talked about this with Andy. Like you don't have to make this like ultra based whatever the fuck game. Like just make it your own. It could be like completely politically neutral or completely divorced from real world anything.
yeah,
And like I used the example last time about, Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo.
mhm.
I couldn't get anything political out of that game. And
No.
it's one of the best side scrollers ever made.
No, the
It
only
doesn't
thing
have
I
to have
got,
that kind of shit.
the only message I get out of Mega Man X is Mavericks deserve to die.
Mavericks deserve to die, and maybe artificial intelligence isn't such a good thing because
Yeah,
Reploids seem to fuck up the world kind of a lot in those
dude,
games.
the Reploids repeatedly cause like world disasters.
Yeah. So if anything, maybe it's a warning against AI.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
it's
probably the most you can squeeze out of that.
yeah, pretty much. Because, dude, like they literally genocide humanity in Mega Man. What was it, X4? Are they,
I think it was 5. 4, like they had like the Rebel Force, and they're like, we're gonna go to
well,
war with
because
the humans for
Drag
independence or whatever. And
is
then
is
5 had like
X4
the
the
virus thing.
is X4 the one with Dragoon?
Technically, he's also in 5 in the tutorial, but yes, he's in 4.
Yeah, because Dragoon drops that city on that what was it, the thing on like a human city, and like tries to genocide them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they were like rebelling against like the humans for like calling them Mavericks or like some shit. I mean, like these games, like I love these games, but their stories are not always, the best.
Coherent.
Yeah. It's, like even like the original series, it's like Dr. Wily is very much just like a cartoon villain. Like, oh, like almost like a Scooby Doo villain. Like,
Yeah,
like you
very
take
much
the
so.
mask off. Oh no, it's Wily. It's like, yeah, no shit. Like they're
No,
all
the
Wily.
really funny one too was like, what was it, Mega Man 2, where Wily's an alien at the end or whatever?
Oh yeah, yeah. And there was also 4 with like the Dr. Cossack thing, and like they try to pull a fast one on you, and it's like, nope, it's actually Wily. Like it's Wily again.
Well, one of my favorite ones was Mega Man X 3, I think it was, with Dr. Doppler, and it just turns out no, it's just Sigma in a costume.
It's just Sigma. Yeah. They do the same thing to Sigma, like what they did to Wily.
Yeah,
But there are
yeah,
Mega
yeah.
Man games with good writing, like, like I could glaze Mega Man
Legends.
Legends all day. All
Yeah, dude. Mega Man Legends
um
is fantastic. Command Mission was pretty decent too. Like, I wouldn't call it a good story, but it was fun.
the Battle Network games have decent writing too.
I've not played them, so I'm not terribly familiar with them.
The Zero series has really good writing actually.
I do like the Zero series. I don't really remember them that well though, because it's been a long time since I played them.
The Zero series, at least the first game, is so fucking brutal. It's so difficult.
Yeah,
Like in the
fair.
remaster, they had to add like extra checkpoints, which
Oh,
I actually appreciate.
yeah. Well, I yeah. The oh god, man.
But I could gush about Legends like forever. Like the writing is super interesting, and like that will always be like because 2 left off on a cliffhanger. So
I'm
like
still mad we didn't get Mega Man Legends 3, and we probably never
I'm so
will.
mad. Probably never will. But if we did, I would be so fucking happy. You know, like that's my most desired sequel of any game.
For me, it's Beyond the Beyond. I want to know what happens next. How do you end the game that way?
It would be like, man, like cliffhanger endings are one thing, and they could be a pain in the ass, and you know whatever.
Dude,
But like a cliffhanger with no sequel is so like imagine if Halo 2 ends on the you know sir we're finishing this fight or whatever, and then it never got
yeah.
another sequel. Like that sucks.
Dude, imagine if the Mass Effect series ended at the Elusive Man shit. Like if it never moved beyond. Well, technically it didn't because 3 is a fucking abomination. But you know, like imagine if they had never even tried to produce an actual ending to that series.
Oh man, trust me, I was there. I was there for all the controversy of the Mass Effect 3 ending. That was man, that was
Dude,
bad.
it was my final pre-order. I never pre-ordered a game again after that from any major company. The only game I pre-ordered after that was from a AA company, which was CD Projekt Red, The Witcher 3, because I knew they weren't going to disappoint me.
I think the only games I'm pretty much comfortable pre-ordering at this point are maybe like some first party like Nintendo stuff. Because I know the game's not going to be buggy or broken or incomplete or
Well, because of the Nintendo lot system, right?
what do you mean by that?
Well, their whole like make it work or it's not coming out thing. Like they're pretty. At least they used to be. I don't know if they're still this way now because I had a friend who I can't talk too much about that, but yeah, he said they're pretty restrictive when you're releasing stuff on their platform. They want you to actually make it work.
I mean, like I have to commend them. Like their games are always like polished. Like they're never buggy or like. I think they're like you know they make their games like family friendly. Like they never really inject any like ridiculous shit into them.
Yeah.
So like I got to give them a lot of credit for that. There's a lot of reasons to be critical of Nintendo, mostly like corporate and like legal overreach and some general greed type shit.
I don't have a
Which you
problem with
should
them
be critical
protecting
of.
I don't have a problem with them protecting their IPs. I do have a problem with the way they shut down fan projects instead of hiring those people to make those things for them.
Yeah, which is one thing like, you know, Sega does the opposite of. Like, you know, they saw
Dude,
this Christian Whitehead guy who's like, "Hey guys, like this is kind of cool. Like I'm porting Sonic games to mobile." And
no,
then like
dude,
they're like, "Hey,
one of the
like you want to make
coolest.
Sonic Mania?"
That I was just gonna say that you're talking with the Sonic Mania guy, aren't you? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like that game is phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah, they're very, very cool for doing that. I hate that how Nintendo treats their fans. I think it's pretty
Sonic
gross.
Sonic Mania is genuinely amazing. Like very well done. Good job. Thank you, Sega, for doing the right thing by a fan.
I will give them tons of props. And you know, Capcom's cool about it too. There's so many like Mega Man fan games out there. They never shut any of them down, which is cool.
Yeah.
But like there's a difference between being protective of your IPs and then trying to file like trademarks and patents of like if you have a creature battling for you, like that's Pokemon and we own that. Like, no, fuck off, dude. Like trying to patent like game mechanics, suck a dick. Like that is so far beyond for me.
It's the
I
same
can't get
reason
into
I
that.
fucking despise EA. They're shitbags. Because no one can use anything even remotely similar to the Nemesis system for the next like 90 years or whatever the fuck the patent time is.
Is that that was from one of the Lord of the Rings games, right?
Yeah, Warner Brothers or something. I can't remember.
I was gonna say, like, is that EA? Actually, I wasn't even sure who published that.
Yeah, I think it's Warner Brothers. Let me check real quick. Lord of the Rings. Talio. What the hell was the main character's name? Was it Talos?
I'd never played any of these games. I couldn't tell you.
List of Middle Earth video games. The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Queen, Shadow of Mordor. That's what it's called. Fuck's sake. There we go.
Who publishes it though?
That's what I'm looking for now. Shadow of Mordor. It was Monolith. Developed by Monolith and published by Warner Bros. Interactive Entertainment. So yeah, like Warner Bros. Has that patent, and no one can use anything even vaguely
Monolith, as
approximate.
in Monolith Soft, like the Xenogears guys or the Xenoblade
It
guys.
just says Monolith. I don't know. Let me
That
look.
it might be a different one then. I'm not aware of them. If it was Monolith Soft, I'd be very very surprised. That'd be very interesting.
No, it's Monolith Productions, so it is different.
Well, either way, they came up with a cool mechanic, and Warner Brothers is gay for. Well, I guess technically Netflix owns the Nemesis system now. Oh, that hurts. That hurts.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, that's the way it goes, unfortunately.
Well, anyway, I think we should wrap up. This was a great conversation, and I am really happy that you came. I love, we always have talks like behind the scenes, but it was nice to, do one here. And so, yeah, I know you mentioned you don't have anything to plug right now because, Twitter is in the middle of keeping you out. But,
yeah, I'm a device ban. They didn't like the fact that I'm banned for platform manipulation, which apparently just sharing posts I agree with and posts that make me laugh too often counts as platform manipulation. They couldn't get me
unfortunately,
for an
nothing
actual.
about that surprises me.
Yeah, exactly it. Like, oi they Goyim, how dare you share posts about a glorious Israel? Fuck off, you retards.
Well, Arkenas Einbrecht, thank you very much for coming. I always appreciate talking to you.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate everyone for watching and tuning in.